Business Development Officer at Midwest Bank's Lincoln branches. As a lifelong Lincolnite with over 30 years of experience in financial management, I'm here to help your business grow and succeed. My focus is building strong relationships with businesses and clients across Lincoln. Because at Midwest Bank, we believe banking is about people, not just numbers. Visit us at midwest.bank or stop by one of our Lincoln locations. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Attention parents of 8 to 12-year-olds. The Lincoln Children's Museum is opening a new exhibit designed specifically with them in mind. Mark your calendars for the grand opening on Saturday, December 13th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. On site, meet Love Nebraska volleyball players, including Lincoln's own Jordan Larson. Plus, the first 100 kids will receive a mini volleyball. Please note, fans must have a child with them to enter the museum. While you're there, be sure to check out the new Rock Wall, Book Nook, and Maker Studio. This event is free for members or included with regular daily admission. Learn more at lincolnchildrensmuseum.org.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. It is Old School here on The Ticket. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you as always. Jay, a happy Thursday to you and yours. I am back. Yesterday was not a mirage.
That's all right. I can get used to this. You back in effect.
Full effect.
Yeah.
Officially. As you would say, back like Return of the Jedi.
Yes, sir.
Great movie. My son has a Star Wars block book. We're going through it right now.
The original one? Or you
so,
got the new one with the...
Well, it has all of them. It goes pretty chronological.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so it's got it all. That's good.
So I'm trying to be a good dad. Teach my kid back like Return of the Jedi. Not coming back to Lincoln anytime soon, Wisconsin men's basketball. After the utter annihilation at the hands of Nebraska last night. First of all, big thanks to the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Appreciate them and everything they do for us here on the show. Jay, 90-60. Nebraska takes down Wisconsin.
Yeah, that was a beatdown.
From start to finish, essentially. Yeah. Wisconsin led it 13-9 at the U16, the first break of the game. Nebraska crawled back in front. This was a 37-31 game with about 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. And then Nebraska goes on a 10-0 kill shot run to stretch it to 16. And Wisconsin only got it back within, I think, 13 at one point in the second half on the way to a Nebraska run. Yeah. Let's start with this, Jay. When you look at this game, what did we learn about Nebraska last night?
They got a little bit of killer instinct. I think they have multiple options. Obviously, playing at home the last two games is obviously works to their advantage. But they have a little bit I don't know, I guess you call savvy a little bit, right now as the season sits, some it factor in the sense that you're able to validate, good play. And you have a little bit of, you put the dagger in the heart, and they are able to adjust and figure some things out. They started kind of slow, where Wisconsin was able to kind of, knife their way through the multiple defensive schemes that they were trying to do, or coverages that they were trying to execute. They weren't executing them very well. And then I think the first timeout, I don't know if it's under 16 or whatever, then they came right back out, and then they started to get busy.
That killer instinct was one of the two things that stood out to me, because Nebraska hadn't shown that in its other high major or notable games. Against Oklahoma, they get down big early, and good for them. They found a way to crawl back in it and ultimately win that game up in Sioux Falls. New Mexico, Nebraska's up double digits at half, played a stellar final 16 minutes of the first half, and then the lead evaporates down to just a possession or two before Nebraska put the Lobos back at arm's length. Kansas State, Nebraska got up by double digits and couldn't quite put that game away. Came down to the last seconds, and Nebraska holds on to win. But Jay, I think that starting with Creighton, a team that Nebraska was clearly superior to, Nebraska really took care of business at home against what's still a quad 3 opponent. And then against Wisconsin, a team that's better than Creighton, that's given Nebraska fits before, but Nebraska said it after the game as well. It's what you do, right? This is the expectation, is that you take care of home in the Big Ten. The killer instinct to me, Jay, came from Nebraska really meeting the moment, right? I think when you think about Fred Hoiberg, you think of even keel. You think of, don't want to get too high, don't want to get too low. You think about staying steady. And I can really appreciate that in teams and in coaches. But I do think that I'm starting to come around to the idea that maybe that's better in the big picture, and you can't let being a steady program hold you back from riding the wave. Because that was one of the best environments I have been in sports last night from the tip. That crowd was charged up from the get-go, even before the game. It filled in pretty early, and I think part of that sure comes from a 21-point beat down at Creighton. Fans are excited about this Nebraska men's basketball team. But even just from the players' standpoint, it looked to me like a team that had taken its coach's message to heart to move on from Creighton, that recognized the sense of urgency in a game like Wisconsin, Big Ten opener, looking to win it for the first time since 2018. You're a ranked team for the first time since 2017-18. And Nebraska played with a sense of urgency, befitting a Big Ten opener, befitting a ranked team hosting an unranked opponent. And I think part of that was because Nebraska didn't necessarily try to just stay steady, or at the very least, they had players that knew how to harness or use that energy, right? Berke Buichtengel is getting a lot of run for his bloody lip, and the performance that he had last night, deservedly so. Braden Frager had some moments, especially early on in that one. Jay, I was so impressed last night with the emotional maturity of this team, not just in staying steady when calls weren't going their way and it was a back and forth game early, but the emotional maturity to not be afraid to ride that wave of positive emotion, but not go too far and capsize the boat.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to, deal with one of the biggest, I guess, crutches around here in all the sports, is dealing with success. And, everybody thinks, you got the highs of the highs, and, can you get back to reality? So that, I think it really, it's a good snapshot and look into, some of the leadership that they have from their senior players and the maturity of their other players. I think Jamarcus Lawrence coming back, obviously, with Sam and the other guys, and obviously Rink Mass, I think you're getting a little bit more even keeled. Not that the guys last year, really couldn't. I think there were some internal, external factors that they had to get over, and I think they remedied that. And look, it's onward, upward. I think they have a really, gettable schedule. They got a big game here coming Saturday, I think, at Illinois, which is obviously going to be hard, just because you're going to get the same treatment as you gave Wisconsin last night. Illinois, you have Illinois' attention, so that's what you should want. It should bring out the best in you. And so, I think last night, obviously, the crowd was probably an extension from the Creighton game. Obviously, you want to get there and see if and when they do it again, and obviously they did. So you expect that moving forward. Now they just got to get back to work or rest or whatever, because essentially now it's already Friday. As far as your competitive clock goes, you got to get it somewhat of a good practice and hop on the plane and go there and ready to battle, because it's a quick turnaround. I mean, when you play Wednesday night, it's essentially Thursday. Thursday is kind of like, rest, recovery, probably look at some tape. Obviously, you see what you needed to do well, especially early in the game. That's got to be the focus, and then you got to try to hone in on a very, very good program in Illinois here in 48 hours.
Yeah, then you travel tomorrow and you're playing Saturday afternoon in
Right.
a top 23 matchups.
Yeah.
Number 13 Illinois and number 23 Nebraska. Cubsker says, I really thought Wisconsin was going to continue to dink and dunk down low. That was the kryptonite for Nebraska in the first half. Jay, Greg Gard wasn't really mad after the game. He had that disappointed dad look, right? You have the thing with your dad in his glasses,
Yeah.
right? That's kind of how I picture Greg Gard in the locker room. He just sounded a little deflated in the post-game speech, talking about his team's lack of defensive identity. No one wants to play it. So much talk about the offense. And that Wisconsin really went to hero ball, went to iso ball, went away from what was working, which was then followed up by Fred Hoiberg saying, yeah, they maybe did a little bit, but he credited his team, and Greg Gard did too. But Fred Hoiberg credited Nebraska for having better hand activity, for getting more deflections, 0 in the first 8 minutes. They chart that, and that's going to be a problem for Nebraska. But I don't want to say I have a hard time believing it. I saw it with my own eyes. I watched it back last night and then again today, and it makes sense why Nebraska not just won, but won in dominating fashion. It was just such a foreign feeling and a foreign game for this Big Ten Conference matchup because, yeah, Nebraska's won games in the series before. Nebraska has never really dominated Wisconsin like this. Even when Nebraska's been, just as good as Wisconsin, it's been a tight game where Wisconsin's found a way to blow the roof off with threes. That happened last year in Madison. And that's where I think, again, I can bring my emotional intelligence and maturity point into this. Berkay Buchengel said this was a game that really sat with him all year. The way that Wisconsin played last year, it made it a little more personal for Nebraska. They said, no, we're not having that happen again. It's going to be our turn to do this. I kept waiting for Wisconsin to solve something offensively. They never did. Part of that is, okay, Wisconsin's got some stuff to work on. But the other part of that might just be, hey, credit Nebraska. They met the moment, they rose to it, and they sustained it for really, the first 35 minutes of that game until the 3s and 4s got it.
Yeah, I mean, really, I just think Nebraska's the better team. And it helps when you're definitely you're focused. And motivation is just when they come out and they do the pregame stuff. That's motivation. And I think the focus and the discipline, and which made the discipline last, what you said, 35 plus minutes, is a byproduct of you forgave yourself, but you didn't forget that butt kicking you got up there in Madison. So you wanted to replicate that and return the favor, and they did it tenfold. So look, I think that this team right here is obviously as of right now, you got a lot of season left, a lot of basketball to be played. Mm-hmm. Teams are going to study you. They're going to actually take some of the things that you do well and put it in their system. They're actually going to see what you don't do well and really, really start to hone in on it. So you're going to get everybody's best shot now. Now you have everybody's attention. Mm-hmm. Now it's going to get tougher. And so the things that you have done well on a consistent basis, you have to make sure that you lean on those because even though you might be better than a team or playing better than a team going into a game, whether it's a road game, or a home game, mm-hmm. you got to understand. And when you show up at the arena and at practice, you're going to get everybody's best shot.
There were certainly opportunities for Wisconsin last night. Greg Gard mentioned that I think they got 6 shots blocked, and that comes down to poor shot decisions. Wisconsin missed a handful of kickouts, both early and late, that could have resulted in open threes. One of them that stands out to me was Stanford's block on John Blackwell. Drove into everyone. He had a wide open guy in the corner. Passing to his dominant hand, he didn't take it, tried to force the shot. Nebraska forced John Blackwell, last week's Big Ten Player of the Week, into a terrible night. 7 points, 1 of 11 overall, 1 of 6 from 3, 4 of 4 on the free throw line in 35 minutes. Only 3 rebounds and an assist from a really good, borderline all Big Ten caliber type of player. And I think, again, some of that goes to Nebraska made his life hard. Nebraska was active, but also Wisconsin just wasn't at its best last night, and that absolutely goes both ways. I do want to highlight this on the Nebraska end, though, Jay. I've been really impressed with Nebraska's guards and wings finishing through contact. Sam Hoiberg, the last couple weeks, has had some incredibly acrobatic finishes for and ones. Cale Jacobson had a key one against Oklahoma and has had another and one since then, I believe. Frager continues to go up strong through contact. I like Price Sanford finishing at the rim. Again, not maybe the bulkiest guy. DeMarcus Lawrence hasn't gotten downhill and had as many of those opportunities. But when Nebraska's guards and wings drive, I feel a lot better about them going up and finishing through contact than I have Nebraska's posts, really for the last couple years, but especially this year. It's been pretty glaring to me, the difference between Nebraska's guards finishing at the rim versus Nebraska's posts through contact.
Yeah, that's the same thing that, Tamanaga added to his game.
Mm-hmm.
The first year where he kind of burst on the scene, it was like, he bombed from, all over the place with three. Then he added off the ball. He was playing, secondary cuts, and then he finished better around the rim. That's exactly what, Sam and Cale and obviously, Braden Frager has done. And that's what you have to do in order for this offense to work. You have to be efficient, as far as scoring the basketball. And they've raised their level of efficiency, and it's the main reason why you're allowing, Rink Mass to have his season, and obviously, Sanford and everybody else, and Jamarcus Lawrence, when he doesn't even score well, he's able to get at the guys that can in the right spots to where they can be efficient.
Mm-hmm.
People don't really, one thing they don't really realize, and it's a lot like football. Ball handling isn't just, 45 million dribbles, 18 fakes, and then get back into your third and fourth into your bag. That's the stuff you see on YouTube. It don't work in real basketball. It don't, and at any level.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're doing it in high school, then you're probably playing against crappy competition, right? But out there, what a good ball handling team is, it's a good passing team, and they have studied it enough. I'd like to think, or Fred has probably made it a point of emphasis, know who you're passing to and what their strengths and weaknesses are, and get it to where they can get into their shot zone or their finish zone or into their on the drive more effectively. That's why this offense is working well. And that's maybe a byproduct of Jamarcus coming back. Maybe he learned that when he went, or was he go to Rhode Island and came back, or maybe he's just more mature and he understands some of the things that Fred wants, or maybe it's just the work they've been able to do over the offseason. But their efficiency and their ball placement is really, really, really good. And that's what you see, actually, if you're going to watch football, you see quarterbacks, they place it to where the receiver or running back can do something with it.
Yeah.
Everybody just looks for completion and then turn the lights off and let's go to the next play. It's the details that they're doing at a high level right now. And those same details will allow them to offset the adjustments that better teams will make against them, in the future, because you can't defense the details in the discipline. You can stymie it, but if you're disciplined with the details, they'll come back and work for you in the most pressure-packed moments.
Yeah, I think that's a great comparison from football to basketball and back, because you can get the ball to the right player and still have it be not the right pass or in the right spot, right? That's why completion percentage is an incomplete measure of accuracy. Yeah. Because part of accuracy isn't just, did you get the ball to the player? It's, what can he do with it then, right? If you have a guy, open down the sideline with a step on his defender, if he catches it, great. But can you put it that extra, half step out in front of him where he can go get it, doesn't have to slow up and doesn't get tackled? Can you lead your guy away from contact? In basketball, that's, can you lead your guy to the rim? Nebraska did that a number of times last night with cutters. It's, can you hit a guy in a shooting pocket? I don't understand why Nebraska didn't have any transition points. I thought they had at least that 3 from Price Sanford, but even that's an easy opportunity in transition. Just make the simple kick ahead pass. Getting it to Price Sanford was the right thing to do quickly. But getting it to him, how they got it to him, he hits the 3. Nebraska goes back up by 20, and that's 20 assists on the night for Nebraska on their 33 made field goals against just 10 turnovers. 4 of those did come from Jamarcus Lawrence. But, Jay, he's been pretty incredible. Not necessarily blowing the doors off statistically, but 7 assists last night. Played some tough perimeter defense on Blackwell and on Nick Boyd at times last night. Last year's team could have used this Jamarcus Lawrence. I get why he left. I understand what he was going for. I think it's been really good for him. And there's that kind of missing element for Nebraska last year, a secondary creator, because Jamarcus can score. That's what he was kind of been wired to do. But now that he can kind of split point guard duties, he can play some 2, play some combo, but at least be the guy with the ball in his hands to make some of those right reads. I think this is a really great role for Jamarcus Lawrence, who really embraced it his second go-round in Lincoln.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to think of the Oklahoma game, right? Before
Yeah.
he didn't score in the first half, and then he hit the back-to-back threes, and he's off to the races for a couple
Mhm.
games. And then in this game, he's more of the setup guy, but he leads it with his defense. And so you got to have some self-awareness of where your game is. And he really didn't play that bad. He was only two of seven. But then when you add the 7 assists, and obviously you'd like a little bit less in the turnover, category, he's able to do some things. So he doesn't need to carry the big load. You got 12 points from Sam, and obviously you got the double digits from the rest, and then Braden Frager had 15. You have a deeper team that's able to pick it up when a guy's having an off night, and then you're able to get bonus points from Garcia. And so it was definitely a true team effort. And you got as you look at it right now, you got your top 6 guys. You say Frager is one of those, and throw Garcia in there. They keep playing like this, they'll be pretty good in Cale Jacobson. So you go 8 deep, right? And you're able to maybe like switch some lineups and stuff like that. So these next 2 games after Illinois is where you're going to really hopefully try to get some more out of. Got my man, we got a Kendall Blue sighting, even though it was late.
No, he was in there at the U12 in the first half.
Yeah, well, he
was out there.
Yeah, he was out there. In
he was running around.
Yeah, we got to get him going. Representing Minnesota. You get him going. You add another guy, you're going to need the whole roster. And but they're playing pretty efficient right now.
Nebraska 90, Wisconsin 60, the final score. Nebraska 10-0 on the men's side for the first time since 1977-78. Jay, saw a college basketball statistician here from OptaStats tweet this out. Division I schools in the last 10 seasons to have both their men's and women's basketball teams start 10-0. Tennessee last year, Arizona in 21-22, Michigan in 2021, Villanova in 2017-18, their second championship year, and this year it's Nebraska. Both programs off to a 10-0 start. Women opened up conference play with the win over Penn State, and Nebraska opened it up with the win over Wisconsin. Really good time to be a Husker basketball fan right now as you're waiting on pins and needles for volleyball tomorrow night. You're waiting for football versus Utah. There's something to do. It's getting down to Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Yeah, I mean, it's about that time. It's about to be bowl season, and obviously, the Lady Huskers are going to do their thing on the volleyball court, and then obviously you get, Saturday early matinee, right? And then it's onward up from there. So as this thing goes on, the pressure, I think, cranks up, and that's where you want to see the best of the best cream rise to the top.
It has risen to the top so far for Nebraska men's basketball. It took some time. Basketball program's gotten here. Can they sustain? We'll see, but they did get here. Does Nebraska have the leeway to be as patient with football? Same sense of urgency or more urgency in that sport? We'll talk about that in light of men's basketball success next here on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740. MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Happy holidays, Nebraska. The Christmas event of the year is coming to the Lead Center. A Christmas Story, the musical, with all your favorite funny gags. The Fragile leg lamp, the Red Ryder BB gun, the ridiculous pink bunny suit, and more. All the fun of the movie, now with singing and dancing as seen on Broadway, with music by Pasek and Paul, the writers of The Greatest Showman. We triple dog dare you to get your tickets today. Leadcenter.org.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lake and forecast for today, we'll see partly sunny skies with a light breeze and an afternoon high around 50. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies, be breezy, the low around 26. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly cloudy skies, be breezy and colder, an afternoon high near 34. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Attention parents of 8 to 12-year-olds. The Lincoln Children's Museum is opening a new exhibit designed specifically with them in mind. Mark your calendars for the grand opening on Saturday, December 13th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. On site, meet Love Nebraska volleyball players, including Lincoln's own Jordan Larson. Plus, the first 100 kids will receive a mini volleyball. Please note, fans must have a child with them to enter the museum. While you're there, be sure to check out the new Rock Wall, Book Nook, and Maker Studio. This event is free for members or included with regular daily admission. Learn more at lincolnchildrensmuseum.org.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals, and get your lift on with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through December 14th, enjoy USDA Choice 8-ounce New York strips, $6.99 each. 85% lean ground beef, $4.98 per pound. All natural boneless chicken breasts, $2.48 per pound. And holiday gift boxes are available for $50. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rolling right along here on Old School, brought to you as always by the Mercado by Certified Tees Tea, special ingredients and butcher shop. 3 Lincoln locations and 1 up in Omaha. Austin Orman and Jay Foreman here with you. Jay, we'll kind of parlay our Nebraska men's basketball conversation here into one about Nebraska football as well. Because when you think about how long it seemed to take Fred Hoiberg to get things going at Nebraska, you suffer through a 7-win season, a 7-win season, and a 10-win season. Of course, COVID comes into play the end of Fred Hoiberg's first year. It takes 2 years to kind of crawl out of that hole until Nebraska gets up to that 500 record and then turns the corner into the 8 seed, the NCAA tournament appearance the next year. Is it fair to give football coaches that sort of runway? Is it fair to say, yeah, you can have, 5 years before your first, let's say, college football playoff appearance for Nebraska? Obviously, the field has expanded, because I think there's the argument to be made that no, you can't afford to give football that any specific coach or program that runway, because there's money, there's investment, you got to get it up and rolling. But the flip side of that would be, yeah, because we are investing so much in it, because the rosters and coaching staffs are bigger, maybe you do need a little bit more time to turn a bigger program around. Is there the same standard for the sense of urgency and really I think the sense of patience between the men's basketball program, how long it gave Fred Hoiberg, and what maybe Husker fans or even Troy Dannon should expect or give Matt Rule in terms of leeway to get to that point?
Yeah, I mean, there's no like right answer. I think the time clock with football, unfortunately, is a little bit faster just because of the dynamics around it. I mean, I think just by the history comparing Nebraska basketball and Nebraska football, as far as the need and the have to be good is different.
Much different.
So your timeline's different. Now I think you need to exercise more patience because number one, the coaching pool isn't as deep as it used to be 5 or 10 years ago because a lot of the good coaches are now on TV commentating or being analysts, in studio. I think the athletes are different and I think the dynamics are different. And so you got to be a little bit more patient, but then also you got to see some progress. I think the biggest thing that Fred did that football teams can do, and you probably seen it maybe with like, obviously everybody wants to look at Kirk Signetti, but you can even look at schools like South Florida and all that where they have an identity. Fred was able to identify what he wants and reshape the program identity-wise, what you want in a Husker basketball player. So that's what you need in football. You got to, obviously have identity. You got to stick to it. You got to build off of it. And you got to adjust some, but you want to make sure you have a good foundation. So I always say you need to exercise patience if you see some growth, and you should know they know more than anybody else because they are inside those walls. And so, you got to, kind of, ride it as long until, they decide to make a decision to keep it going or not.
And to be completely fair to your main point, yes, they're not the same sport, right? The timelines are just naturally different in some of those. But I do think we have to be fair to Matt Rule as well in a probably more scrutinized job, obviously, for Nebraska football, one of the most scrutinized in the country, regardless of level. Just looking at the first 3 years, Matt Rule has clearly already accomplished more and shown more signs of progress than Fred Hoiberg did.
For sure.
To get from a 4-8 team that went 1-2 with Scott Frost, 3-6 with Mickey Joseph, so same winning percentage under both guys that final year, to get that team to 5-3 entering November in year one and kind of that transition year. Yeah, going 0-4 in November, it hurt, but that was a step in the right direction. To get to the first bowl game, sure, maybe you want more out of the program in year two, but they got to a bowl game, they won it, and then you win one more regular season game this year. It feels like maybe not the step forward the fans wanted, but again, just comparing football and basketball in just the first 3 years, if it takes Matt Rule 7 years or to get to the college football playoff, or 6 years to get to the college football playoff, seems like it probably will have taken too long. But I think it's a great point by you that, yeah, just even though he has maybe accomplished more in the first 3 years, that timeline's accelerated because of other, kind of extenuating factors outside of Matt Rule's control and outside of Fred Hoiberg's control on the other side.
Well, the Kirk Signetti thing is obviously this is why you see a lot of turnover, and it played a part in probably what happened up there in Ann Arbor as well. Everybody who thinks that you get a new coach, then all your problems are solved. Your problems are only solved when everything is there's continuity and clarity, top to bottom. That's the top of the university. Then you stop at the sports teams on down. Michigan obviously has some issues, so it played out yesterday, and it's been playing out on the field. So there's definitely progress from year one to year three. I think when you look at it, maybe a game behind this year, where you would, I guess, be somewhat satisfied. 8-4 versus 7-5. Obviously, you'd like to think with Dylan coming back and the offensive weapons we had that we would have been able to maybe even exceed that. So, you still took a step in the right direction. You wanted to take a big leap. And so now you have to go back and that's what he's probably trying to do, is kind of just figure out where he wants this program to go. And so you got to have some patience. And on the flip side, I don't think football is very hard. It's not. And winning's not very hard. Now, the thing is, you kind of fight this kind of unknown character of coaching. Like, how hard can you coach kids? Do you even have enough time to coach kids? Because you got to re-recruit your roster. You got to recruit not only the next year. You got to keep your eye on the portal. Then you got to recruit 2 years from now. all that stuff. So it's constant, the goal line is moving. But, I think at a place like Nebraska, I wouldn't say it's easy, but I also think that you can be pretty consistent pretty quick. Now, the parity is there.
Mhm.
All right. So, what you're getting now, or where you're at, say before this, it's a byproduct of some bad decisions a long time ago, which you can't change.
Yeah.
And college football changed. So you made some bad decisions when college football changed drastically, when there was more networks, and you went totally out of character with what you're doing. And that's fine. At that time, you thought it was the right move. And then you missed on some couple things. You had a lot of turnover upstairs. And so, right now you just got to really, I wouldn't say start over, but build the program the way you want it. You got to have some patience, but then also you got to have the sense of urgency too.
Well, let's get to our starter Heyman Jewelers text line, 402-464-5685. One-Eyed Ray does bring up the Cignetti example. He says, unfortunately, for Rule, Cignetti has changed what people think about that time frame. To me, Jay, it's not so much that Curt Cignetti said it has to be overnight. To me, the more important and impressive part about what Curt Cignetti did is that he nailed the follow-up and has been even better.
It's validation. He came out in his first major golf tournament and ended the tournament with a double with a birdie.
Mhm.
And when he needed to make it a birdie on 18 the next year, he hit a double eagle.
Yeah.
But there's other guys that have done well in their first year and really turned some things around. You've seen some guys actually make adjustments in their program. Lane Kiffin, defensive wise, they're a lot better than they had been in the past. It can be done. I think sometimes when you're always looking at what other people do and then you're not really taking care of your business, that's where you can really stymie your progress. So I think you always pause people to say, look, Indiana has never been good at football. Never, up until now. They've never been good at football.
No.
They've never even put forth any resources or thinking about football. They had the COVID year with Allen, and then all his NFL talent left.
Yeah.
And then you're stuck with nothing.
Mhm.
And he kind of, what Kirk Cignetti was been able to do, and this is not taking anything away from Cignetti, is that the foundation was still there. I mean, Tom Allen did some good things, and he did a lot with very little support.
Mhm.
Obviously, as soon as he left, they was like, all right, we're going to put some money into the program. So sometimes you can say, well, if you can do it at Indiana, you should be able to do it to Nebraska. There is truth to that, but then there's not a lot of truth into it because you don't know the dynamics of the inner workings of Indiana versus Nebraska.
Mhm.
Like these dudes at Indiana, they're just like, oh, we just lucked into this decision. It's no different than Colorado last year.
Right.
Colorado the first year. They're making all that money. Now you got to get there. Now Kirk Cignetti has always been a winner. And so, Nebraska just got to find their own way and find their pathway. Indiana will face being hunted. They are hunting people right now.
Yeah.
They haven't had it turned around on them. The boomerang hasn't came, but they'll be battle tested and be ready for it because they, have a good eye for talent. They have when you've always had to kind of do a lot with a little, kind of what who you are and what you're looking for to run your deal. So they've been able to kind of have some little watering holes as far as recruiting and have eyes on guys way in the future.
They really have. Back to our starter at Heyman Jewelers text line we go. So 44-24 says, to be fair, Matt Rule's never had a year 4 or 5. It's fair to see if he can prove it after year 3 and build. That's not exactly true. He did get 4 years at Temple. They went 10-4 in 2015 and then 10-3 in 2016. Reached the top 25, lost their bowl game both times. Then it was 3 years at Baylor, and he's through 3 years here at Nebraska. Let's go to Mike. I think for most fans, it's not the win-loss record. For Husker football, it's the losses and how Nebraska loses that really bother most fans. So it is the win-loss record at the end of the day, Mike, but I do think there's that other part as well, Jay. But I think that's kind of a cop-out as well. It's how Nebraska loses. Well, don't lose pretty. Start winning ugly, because a loss is a loss at the end of the day, and they pile up. And I get it. You don't like to see Nebraska steamrolled by Penn State and Iowa in back-to-back weeks after having that happen to them against Minnesota. But you can't say it's about how Nebraska loses and then say it's not about the win-loss record, because if it's more about, just, be competitive, just be close, well, we're back to the best 3-9 team of all time again.
Yeah, well, I think everybody can be right. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You could play a really good game and you get just beat by a better team on that day. right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can see it. Now, what you're saying is you want the aesthetically pleasing is, you just want that. What they're saying is you want the team to embody just Nebraska people. You want tough, disciplined people. Well, a lot of these fans are too young to even remember when old guys like myself played. So that's what they're looking for. They want to see that. Hey, look, you're getting, and also there's a factor. You're getting paid a lot of money, or some guys are getting paid a lot of money. You got to expect, and you should be welcoming the pressure of playing well. There's a lot of that goes into it. Some of it's like false, expectations coming off the off season, and now everybody's talking about you and stuff like that. And it's obviously runs rampant around here. It's a highly covered team, and it is kind of way you lose, or it's more or less how you play.
Yeah,
it's how you play. Do you play tough? Do you do the things? Is there adjustments? You just got to get that together. So, but then on the other side, you got to give Coach Rule credit. He saw some weaknesses that he felt like there was weaknesses at. Now, right, wrong, or indifferent, he made decisions, and you move on from there. And so if they get some new blood in here, and these guys are really kind of get their things, like we talked about yesterday on Whiteboard Wednesday, San Diego State did a really good job on the edges and allow the guys to play downhill. Okay, then you remedy against the run, right? But then that once you like kind of remedy that problem or have a plan, an action plan for that, you've got to be able to rush the passer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then you've got to be able to legitimately cover.
Yeah.
Because the guys that we're going to be covering this year is way different than we covered last year.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's on notice. The defenses that we play next year are better than the defenses that we played overall, top to bottom, than we played this year. So everybody has to approach it that we got to get better. And once you do that, you'll be just fine. Then you won't have to worry about how you're playing. You're just playing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like a team has to play.
Well, you have the standard.
Yeah, and a team is going to have to play their best game to beat you.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you play your best game, you'll be able to beat their best. And so that's what they're trying to get to. Now, obviously, as you go along this thing, people want it sooner than later. And Kirk Cignetti's put pressure everywhere. These like Florida – making moves, Florida State wishing they could fire Mike Norvell, all that stuff, even at Kentucky, everybody, it's a byproduct of Cignetti.
Yeah.
Because they're thinking, okay, if we just keep, just firing it, we'll get that. And, we'll even get that small little capsule of 2 years. They're willing to bet, do that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How they go about it and what they're willing to deal with is like there. What do you think LSU is doing? They're trying to get a splash higher. They're thinking like, whoa, Lane comes here. He gets these athletes with these, this defense.
Ole Miss gets good athletes, but not LSU athletes.
Right. Just, Lane gets off the plane. The number one player in the nation is waiting for him.
Mm-hmm.
But what people forget, when you get them white lines, that don't matter.
Right.
And that's where a lot of people really have a hard time adjusting to what's called competition and actually playing the game.
And also adjusting to maybe the new day and age of college athletics in some ways. We have both sides of that here. So Waverly Jim says, I think the Nebraska brass is sick of the revolving door here. And Kent says, I appreciate Matt Rule making changes. This is the third defensive coordinator, second OC, second special teams coordinator in 3 years. Coach Osborne used to always talk about how fortunate he was that he had such continuity with his staff. Seems like Matt Rule didn't necessarily hire the right people out of the gate, or they weren't available. And so some of those changes must have needed to be made. I'll say this, in that you can do too much change and you can use the change as an excuse for, oh, sorry, well, we had new coaches in the door. What did you expect? They need a year under their belts. They didn't know their guys. But that can't be an excuse anymore. When new players come in the door every year with the transfer portal and NIL the way that it is, even with coach movement. So Waverly Jim, if you're talking about Nebraska brass being sick of player movement, they got to get used to it. But I would also say the same thing in terms of coaches, because if you want to look at a program that's had a bunch of coach movement, look at Nebraska volleyball. Look how many assistants John Cook lost in the span of 20 years. Yeah. It was not the same staff. Look how many offensive coordinators Nick Saban turned through as he was winning in defensive coordinators too, winning 7 titles. It happens. It's part of the game when you are a stable program with good direction that continues to win games, right? Sure, you like continuity, but that's so idealistic in this day and age. It is so hard to come by That's why Kurt Cignetti being able to bring as much of his staff with him from James Madison to Indiana, there wasn't just that one stop for those guys. They've been together even longer. When you can get it, it's great. You have to shoot for it, but you can't expect it. And because you can't expect it, you can't use the lack of continuity as a crutch for, hey, this is why we're not successful. Give us more time. You have to show progress and that, hey, you're improving while you build that continuity, while you build out that standard and get whoever's in the door, players or coaches, to live up to it, abide by it.
Yeah, I mean, I think you need a lot more continuity when you're at like the Toledos and Akron, because you're trying to really, you can build a program there. And then when you build a program and you get a big, obviously promotion, you go from there. When you have a lot of coaching turnover and you're winning, nobody cares. Then it's like, when a coach like Tony White left, for another opportunity, what he felt was as good or maybe better in Nebraska, he had some, whatever his reasons were to go. You can't fault him from there because the defense had, been, pretty good. Then, Coach Rule decided to, bring in Eckler as a special teams coach. So he made a couple pivots. So, not all coaching changes or player changes are created equal.
Which is what Gorilla Bear says as well. It's a revolving door when coaches are taking better jobs is different than having to fire coaches every year.
Yeah, and it just kind of depends on how you look at it. And sometimes you got to, maybe some guys morph into or out of roles, which suits them and you got them in the program. So, I think the biggest thing that you just need to focus on is just winning. That's it. Just winning. Every single day, everything that you do has to be about winning.
Yeah.
That's coaches and players, staff, or whatever else they have going on. It has to be about winning. If that is done, then you'll win. And then when coaches leave, you'll just be happy for them because then you'll be, you have a good coaching tree. And that's ultimately what you want as a coach.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't advantageous back when Coach Osborne was coaching to go anywhere because this is the best job and there wasn't a lot of money when you're coaching. Now there's a lot of money. If I'm a coordinator or a linebacker coach, if I'm a linebacker coach and I want to be a coordinator and I can go make twice or three times as much what I'm making and then I'm on my way to try to be a head coach, that's a tip your hat to the original head coach. And in this case, it would be, Matt Rule.
Right.
He ain't going to stop you from going on and do that. So I think, coaching a revolving door with players, you just got to be able to coach your style. You got to be able to coach the way you want. And if you're paying the guys, they either get coached or they can sit on the bench.
Right.
Period.
Those are your options.
Yeah. I mean, you're already getting paid. That's not my fault. They brought you in here. My job is a coach. If you can't play hard, I got to get you to play hard. I got to have a standard. If you're not meeting that, then we're just going to have some uncomfortable conversations. That doesn't mean that you're not going to play ever again. It means you ain't going to be playing as much as you like. You got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, just like it is outside.
77, 73, 15, 62. Appreciate you guys chiming in on the conversation as well. Sorry we couldn't get to you. Husker Stu will address that here coming up. Thomas and Lincoln, Ben, stay tuned. We'll get to you as well. This is Old School. He's Jay. I'm Austin. We'll be back to wrap up Hour 1 in a sec.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Make Hog Wild the centerpiece of your holiday meal. Pre-order a 4-pound boneless ham for $50, a 12-pound whole smoked turkey, or a 4-pound turkey breast for $55. A complete meal includes your choice of a whole turkey or turkey breast, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, green beans or corn, and a dozen rolls for $130. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com soon. Quantities are limited. All weights are approximate before cooking. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through December 14th, enjoy USDA Choice 8-ounce New York strips, $6.99 each. 85% lean ground beef, $4.98 per pound. All natural boneless chicken breasts, $2.48 per pound. And holiday gift boxes are available for $50. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your lake and forecast for today. We'll see partly sunny skies with a light breeze and an afternoon high around 50. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies, be breezy, the low around 26. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly cloudy skies, be breezy and colder, an afternoon high near 34. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals, and get your lift on with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Thirsty Thursday's just around the corner. Short one here to wrap up hour 1 of Old School. Jay, it's official. Billy Napier to James Madison. Really
Yeah.
good landing spot for him. Of course, he was a hot commodity from when he got his first gig at Louisiana. Raging Cajun 7-7 in his first year. Won bowl games the next 2 years, and then double-digit wins. Actually, the final 3 years that he was there, 11-3, 10-1, and 12-1. Got the Raging Cajuns as high as 15th and 16th in the poll his final 2 years. Underwhelming, perhaps, tenure at Florida, but a guy with SEC experience who's been a good mid-major coach before. I think James Madison got a guy that's probably at the right level for him.
Yeah,
as a head coach.
Yeah, I think he, I think he'll do well there. I mean, obviously the standard's pretty high there.
Yeah.
Expectations are probably out of this world. Considering their last 2 coaches were there or Kirk Cinetti was there for a little while, and then the last coach was there for like a year or so. I think it's a good landing spot. I think it's good for him to get back into coaching. I think he's probably a better coach than what led out there in Florida. I think there's some factors that were out of his hands that led to that. It's a learning experience for him, and there's, I wouldn't say he'll never get up to the Power 4 again, but I think if he does well there, he'll sneak into another Power 4, and I think it's a good match for him.
Would you rather be the head coach at James Madison or North Dakota State?
Where is James Madison at?
Was it like Lynchburg, Virginia? Harrisonburg? One of the Harrisonburg, I want to say.
Man, I guess Virginia. I guess
Harrisonburg, yes.
James Madison, I guess. I mean, you can't go wrong with either. North Dakota State is solid too.
So I'm saying. Different talent bases available, but different level.
They
as
recruit
well.
North Dakota. They'll get some kids out of Florida. They recruit.
They do.
Yeah. I was just like, hey,
really, they just go across the border to wherever the Lances are in Minnesota and say, "Yep, there's another one. You're coming to us."
He's from like southern Minnesota. I mean, he ain't
not from your neck of the woods.
No. But he got a good bloodline though.
Hey.
North Dakota State probably. It probably fits more like what I'm used to. Just line them up, knocking. I mean, that's a program right there.
Yeah.
You gotta be tough, and they put guys out, and they're always in the mix. That's but you can't go wrong with either. South Dakota State either.
Yeah, I mean, FBS versus FCS, but hey, still kind of that Cinderella versus the big bad boy on the block.
Just work your way up, man.
Yeah. You can get wherever you want to go from either place.
Oh yeah, quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big time job.
You should want to go very quickly to Myers Cork and Bottle. We'll tell you what's going on down there at the shop Uncle Kev's in for Thirsty Thursday.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals, and get your lift on with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Make Hog Wild the centerpiece of your holiday meal. Pre-order a 4-pound boneless ham for $50, a 12-pound whole smoked turkey, or a 4-pound turkey breast for $55. A complete meal includes your choice of a whole turkey or turkey breast, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, green beans or corn, and a dozen rolls for $130. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com soon. Quantities are limited. All weights are approximate before cooking. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SartorHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Why wait until Friday to start your weekend?
Go ahead, start right now.
You're thirsty now, and 93.7 The Ticket is here to help you stock up.
Just in time for the weekend when I like to hit the clubs.
Time to broaden your horizons and try some new wine and beer. It's Thirsty Thursday with Kevin Meyer from Meyer's Cork and Bottle.
That's a fancy bottle there.
Well,
it looks like a Ferrari.
That's actually the name of the winery. Remember last week when they were the text line asked, what a good winery to visit would be.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one that I was talking about. So I thought, let's bring that wine in and we can taste it on the air so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's a really cool looking bottle of wine.
It's called Ferrari Carano, and the guy that founded it was a billionaire, made his money in casinos. And so the winery was like a passion project for him. And I honestly believe if he were anybody else, the wines would be double the price because they're that good. And I'm not a big Merlot guy, but I love this one. So we're going to do this first because I don't think the beer is going to set it up real nice. I brought in something that's going to knock your socks off beer wise. So
interesting. So this Merlot, you said, should be double the price, probably given the quality. Does he keep the price down just because he's a billionaire and it's his pet project? Or is this the market saying, hey, we're just going to keep your price here, invisible hand, Adam Smith sort of stuff?
I think more the former than the latter, but he's actually since passed away. But the new owners are smart enough to, realize that it was successful for a reason. And so let's not variate from that. Let's not try to fix something that isn't broken.
Understandable. Jay, give it a sip. Tell us what you think.
I like that. I had 2 sips before you even got me to ask the first one. While you guys were talking, I go, I like that, man. That's pretty smooth.
Yeah, it's a lot of times Merlot is kind of bright, can be a little tart.
Yeah.
This isn't. This has more of those dark fruits, those black cherry notes. You definitely get the vanilla in there. And it's sort of a cab drinker's Merlot. And so, I mean, my former Twitter handle before the Russians stole it was Big Cab Guy, and now it's Big Grill Guy. But you know how it is.
Pretty distinct legs on here too.
Yes, sirree. That's an indication of viscosity. It means it's got some richness to it.
See there, Austin?
Jay, you know what you're talking about.
I did.
You are an expert.
I'm not an expert. I got introduced to this. It's a funny story. I was playing in Houston. One of my best friends flew down.
Yeah.
I think it was Chris Brown's birthday party. And we went and he got hammered.
Which Chris
the
Brown?
R&B?
The kicker.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And he got hammered. My friend got hammered. He hadn't eaten any food all day because he was working, came down on a Friday.
Woo. And
so we were at a wine tasting and he got hammered.
Woo.
So I learned all about it because I was laughing at him about it. So those legs kicked you right in the butt.
I mean, who wants to spit it out? You of course, when you're tasting like 20 of them, you can.
Yeah. And he a little dude too, man. So he.
Yeah. It doesn't take much. It really doesn't. Especially when you're talking, a good dry red wine is typically around 14.5% alcohol, and so if you're tasting like 20 of them and a couple samples of ounces a piece, it can add up quick. But this is absolutely probably my overall favorite Sonoma winery. And what's interesting is normally a winery, they'll have 2 or 3 wines that are sort of their flagships, and then they'll have 3 or 4 others that they do, but aren't, they're just sort of average. And so we usually just carry the flagships. But in this case, we carry the Cab, the Merlot, the Pinot Noir, the Sauvignon Blanc, or they call it Fumé Blanc, which is a fun story, by the way. Their Chardonnay, and then they make an Italian blend called Sienna that actually has some Sangiovese in it, which you don't see a lot of California Sangiovese. But the term Fumé Blanc is something that Robert Mondavi came up with in the 80s
And Robert Mondavi is a name that you should know if you're a wienophile.
Yeah. Wienophile.
Enophile?
Enophile. Yeah. I mean, a wienophile is a completely different thing.
Enophile, my bad.
And
rising over here.
So there was at the time, Sauvignon Blanc was held in lesser regard as far as a white wine. Kind of Chardonnay is not even its bastard stepbrother. It's it's a legitimate cousin, and he felt like he was growing some of the best Sauvignon Blanc in Napa Valley, and so he stole the term Fumé from a wine out of the Loire Valley called Pouilly Fumé, and Pouilly Fumé is Sauvignon Blanc. It means smoke because the fog settles into the valley every night, and then once the sun gets high enough, it lifts, and so they call the wine Pouilly Fumé, and so he called it Fumé Blanc, even though it was just Sauvignon Blanc, and people went, "Wow, this is cool and different and unique," and it sold. So besides being an expert winemaker, he's Robert Mondavi, who's also a master manipulator of the market too.
I like that. This is really good. I'm getting something. Is it black cherry? Maybe a little vanilla, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's kind of a cab drinker's Merlot, and those are typically flavors that you would get out of more of a cab than a Merlot. But like mostly, darker fruits, maybe even like a little sort of plummy quality. But just velvety smooth and like drinking silk. And so like anything off the grill that you would normally do a cab with, you can do this Merlot if you want to mix it up.
I love it. Since I didn't get a chance to talk to you last week, how was Thanksgiving before we get to the beer?
Thanksgiving was excellent. We did a 2-day brine on the bird.
He did it big, Austin.
Yeah.
He's humble, but he did it big. He did it big.
How I like to make it is that so you take it out of the brine, you rinse it off, and then rub it down with olive oil, both in the cavities as well. And then I stuff it with chopped celery, carrots, apples, and onions, and heavily seasoned. And then you take an orange, you cut it in half, and you plug the top and the back and pin it closed. And then you rub the outside of the bird in olive oil and then put a dry rub on it. And my dry rub is just sort of something different every time. I've got a whole collection. Proprietary. Yeah. So I've got a whole bunch of different rubs and I'll just mix them together. Obviously, I taste it before I put it on, and then just generously rub that on the bird. And then went about 3 hours in the Traeger first, and then pulled it, put it in a bag, and finished it off in the oven to catch all the juice, and then carved that in the drippings. And man, it was good. And the white meat was even very juicy. So, and stayed that way.
How'd the cranberry sauce go over?
I didn't do the cranberry sauce.
You did do the cranberry sauce this year?
I didn't. I figured I've kind of come to the realization that I'm the only one that likes it. So it's kind of like, but Uncle Kev's homemade cranberry sauce, real cranberries, and you boil it in a Belgian raspberry beer, and it's called framboise. And you add a little sugar, you grate a little orange zest, and you just boil that until it turns into almost like a Jell-O, and those cranberries pop, and man, it's delicious.
Maybe next year you can make it for the three of us.
I will. Absolutely.
Because someone needs to appreciate the hard work that you put in to make something you enjoy.
Well, absolutely. And I for the life of me can't figure out why other people don't like it, but it is what it is.
How dare you don't like what I like? You know what I mean? Yeah. I like cranberry. I like cranberry sauce though.
I'm like, man, I have good taste. I think. Matt, maybe not. Who knows?
To each their own, or something like that. You should get yourself down in Meyer's Cork and Bottle, 13th and South. Kevin Meyer of the eponymous store is in here with us. All right, I have my socks on. They are prepared to fly off. Why are my socks coming off next, Kevin?
Okay, well, this is an 11.7% stout.
Dang.
Woo!
And it comes from Founders, which is out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. Sticking with Michigan drama. And it's what they call their CBS, which stands for Canadian Breakfast Stout. And the reason that they call it that is because they take their Kentucky Breakfast Stout, which is a stout brewed with oatmeal, cocoa nibs, and coffee, and then put in bourbon barrels.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, what they do is that this beer, the barrels had bourbon in them. They bottled the bourbon. Then they put Canadian maple syrup in it, in the bourbon barrels. And then they bottle the maple syrup and then put the beer in the maple syrup bourbon barrels. And it's dark, it's rich, it's going to be sweet, and it's going to knock your socks off.
Wow.
It's like drinking espresso.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I did not know what to expect. It was not that. In a good way.
Keep going. Definitely taste the coffee for sure.
It's like dark like Guinness.
It is. It's almost black. Yeah.
Wow.
You can taste the sweetness.
Definitely. Austin over there.
Wow.
I was telling you, your socks are laying in the corner.
Sorry for the smell. I tried to deodorate it. But anyways, that doesn't even feel like a beer in your mouth.
It's rich.
And the fact that you said it's Canadian breakfast
stout. Yeah,
stout. That's definitely what they probably eat with their turkey bacon up there in Canada.
Yeah. So it's brewed with oatmeal, cocoa nibs, and coffee, and then put in bourbon barrels that used to have bourbon in it, and then had Canadian maple syrup in it, and then had the beer in it.
My mind just can't fully wrap itself around.
It's unlike anything you've ever had, I'm sure.
It truly is. I don't know if I would have ever picked this out of a lineup to say yep, this is going to be my thing.
That's pretty sweet.
Jeremy says he loves them some of the CBS. I get the coffee right away. I get the cocoa. I even get a little bit of the bourbon in there. But then the maple syrup finish, it just feels a little heavier in your mouth.
It definitely, it's sticky.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah.
Super pause.
E Strick, is that you? Is he Strick back? No. Pause.
I had to pause you, man.
Jay.
I had to pause you, man.
Jay, what's your take on this?
I like it, man. I like it. It's sweet. It's a sweet, thick beer, though.
You
only need
rich.
2 of these, and this is your calorie count right now.
Oh, yeah. I imagine, I don't know what the caloric value of a 12-ounce one of these is. I doubt it even tells us, but I'm guessing it's probably like 500 or 600 calories for a 12-ounce beer.
Cow.
But it's delicious, but a little bit goes a long way. Actually, I did some of the best beef jerky I ever made. I used a Kentucky breakfast stout, and thinly sliced some. Gosh, I want to say it was sirloin, but it could have been like a flank or something like that. And then marinated it in the beer with some Worcestershire, some soy, a whole bunch of spices, some hot sauce, and then went low and slow on the pellet grill. And it was the best beef jerky I ever made, and it was a beer very similar to this.
That is incredible. I am still kind of a loss for words. Looking it up online. So yeah, the 11.7, 45 IBUs, I believe it.
International bitters units for those of you playing at home.
Indeed. And AI is telling me, I don't know this for a fact, I'm not finding it on Founder's website, about 360 calories.
Seems
per
low.
12.
Seems
it
low.
really does.
Yeah.
Now, Kev, what would you have this on Saturday of starting football bowl week or football bowl month?
Well, first of all, I'd have to share it. I don't think I could put down a full one just because it's so rich.
Right. So me and you in the garage, what are we going to chomp on with this? It's sweet. So we need something spicy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We probably need like some spicy pretzels or something because we're just getting started, right?
I think
Cajun spicy pretzels
or some jerky.
Yeah.
Or
oh yeah, that'd go great with the jerky. I'd actually dip the spice like a jalapeno jerky in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Something really peppery would, to balance out the sweet.
Yeah. That's a nice little
Or
idea.
or some maybe some
check the temperature on Saturday.
some like spicy wings or something like that with a good spicy dust, lemon pepper dust or something like that on there. Heck yeah.
Heck, you get those jerk chicken wings. That'll take that spiciness.
That'll cool that off quick.
Few things from our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. Chubby Rhino says he also wants in on the cranberry sauce. So we'll see if we can
start selling it, Kevin.
Yeah,
right there, right
jar it up.
Yeah, right
Sell
out
it at the store.
Right at the store.
Trial run.
Requires a lot of food handlers permits and whatnot, but we could go under the table with it, like black market.
Exactly.
We could be Smokey and the Bandit.
Just turn the big signage off.
Yeah,
if you don't advertise, you just got to know to ask for it.
Well, yeah, or
Secret
like
menu.
we could meet at an alternate location.
Maybe a competitor, get them busted or something.
There you go. With this underground cranberry sauce.
Right. Eric says, fellas, I have a nice New York strip, baked potato, and corn on the cob on the grill tonight to celebrate 40.
Absolutely.
Eric?
Good
Eric.
work.
That Eric, Jay.
So what you need to go with that, Eric, is a nice bottle of Ferrari Crono Merlot.
I was just about to say that would be on it.
Yeah. Or a good bottle of Cab, but make sure you get it at Myers Cork and Bottle. These are on the shelf every day for $30. They are going to be part of our holiday wine sale, which begins next week.
Yes, tell us more about that, please.
Well, we're going to have 75, 80 different wines on sale for the holidays, and just kind of a smorgasbord of things because everyone has their own taste. So we're going to have some sweeter German Rieslings. We're going to have some stuff for your holiday prime rib. We'll have some champagne and various sparkling wines. You name it. We're going to have some options on sale for the holiday wine sale starting next week.
Kevin, I wanted to ask, my bad also.
You good.
That goes with I'm thinking with a prime rib.
Heck yeah.
I've been watching TikTok how to do a prime rib.
Yeah, have you ever done one before?
My family's Christmas Eve thing.
I like eating them, but I think I'm gonna do one.
Yeah, it's really not that hard.
Right. But have you seen the one where they put the salt around it?
Yeah. Mostly what the idea of that is that the salt is an absorber.
Right.
So it's designed to bring the juice to the surface.
Because when I've had one with the salt, they did it. Now say they knocked it off.
Right.
That was the best one I ever had.
Yeah. I've seen that done. I always get a little nervous because I don't want my
blood pressure to go up. It gets into your meat, right?
Yeah, and not only that, but like you just don't want it to be like a salt bomb,
right?
But if you do it right, it's not.
I probably should wait for the second one for that, right?
But if you just follow the directions and pull it off at the right temp, temp is the number one thing you got to pay attention to.
Gotcha.
Pull it off at the right temp, let it rest. I think a good prime rib, medium rare. Again, and the fun thing about prime rib is that the outside pieces are for your medium folks.
Right.
And the closer you get to the middle, you're going to get more rare. And then, in between you get your more medium rare. And so, your medium rare prime rib is going to, I think you pull it off at about 125, and then it will naturally heat up to about 130, 135. The ends will be 150, 160. So, you can kind of satisfy everybody.
I like that. Ferrari is going to be in the house.
And they do a killer cab. I mean, all their wines are fantastic. I think my wife and I drank our weight in their white wine here this summer too.
They do a great job. And Kevin, let's just kind of set the scene for people. We're 2 weeks away from Christmas Day. You're putting off your shopping to the last minute. You maybe have the family members you really know down, or the friends you really know down, but there's someone that you're still trying to figure out. You don't know what to get them for Christmas. What's a good option for people?
Well, obviously, I think the best gift is a good bottle of wine. Especially for somebody like your boss who you don't think needs anything or wants anything, or if you have that sort of someone in your life that your father-in-law that maybe doesn't have a lot of hobbies or something along those lines, or again, they just have everything they need and they don't need more stuff. So the great thing about a good bottle of wine is that A, they can save it for a special occasion. It's not going to go bad, and B, to me, it shows class, and so if you wanted to impress someone, get them a good bottle of wine and we'll gift wrap it for you. And it's easy, and you're on your way, and you can swipe it off your list without spending a whole lot of time doing it.
Kevin, I have one question. When you open a bottle of wine, so you just open that today, how long is it good for?
A red, I would say drink within 2 days. If you do nothing else, like if you don't have a pump, or like we sell this gas that you can it's inert gas. It's argon, nitrogen, and CO2. And so basically, not only is it inert, so it's inactive, but it's heavier than oxygen. So it displaces it, so it won't continue to break the wine down. So that I've gone back a week later and the wine's still very good. But if you don't have any sort of preservation method, you're just putting the cork back in it. I'd say a red wine drink within 2 days, a white 2 to 3 days, I guess.
Okay.
A white within 1 to 2. The whites will oxidize more quickly because they don't have skin contact, which is also called what?
Skin contact would be called maceration.
Exactly. And that's a natural preservative because it instills tannins into the wines.
TANNINS.
Right. Whites don't have that. Only the reds do.
Holiday wine sale, Myers Cork and Bottle starts when again, Uncle Kev?
It's going to start Monday.
Monday.
Yes, sir. And go all the way through New Year's.
All the way through New Year's?
Yes, sir.
Not just the Christmas holiday.
Not just the Christmas holidays. And for our Jewish friends out there, also Hanukkah.
There we go.
Yeah. And Kwanzaa.
Yeah,
all the above.
He stumped on Kwanzaa.
You stumped on Kwanzaa?
I am not stumped on Kwanzaa.
Yes,
I am not stumped on Kwanzaa. Give me some of that Kwan, though, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of people got that Kwan. There's a lot of people losing that Kwan.
Like Sharon Moore, let's just go full circle.
Yeah, Sharoni is not no macaroni.
Well, let's spend some of that Kwan at Myers Cork and Bottle this holiday season. Shop local.
Is the neon back?
The neon is back.
Yes.
It's the first time I've ever gotten the neon fixed and spent less than $1,000. I'm over here just printing money.
Yeah.
Look at us go. Look at him go. Look for the neon.
Look for the neon. We're back, baby.
Take that, pigeons. You can't win.
That's right.
He's Kevin. That's Jay. I'm Austin. This has been Thirsty Thursday. As always, Uncle Kev, appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
More Old School in a sec.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
This is your year to win way more than bragging rights. At Warhorse Casino, your love of the game could earn you serious cash. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with cash prizes all season long, like up to $1,000 weekly, with your chance at $1 million, all while earning tier points and comp points every time you place a sports bet. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your wake at forecast for today. We'll see partly sunny skies with a light breeze and an afternoon high at around 50. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies, be breezy, the low around 26. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly cloudy skies, be breezy and colder, an afternoon high near 34. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Are you tired of your usual barbershop experience? Stop into Scissors and Scotch today. I know what you're thinking. Drink during a haircut? Don't worry. First comes the precision cut from one of their experienced barbers, followed by your complimentary cocktail in their upscale lounge. Scissors and Scotch blends your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. And now you can earn $10 off by simply mentioning the ticket. And if you're an existing member, still mention the ticket for an exclusive offer. Offer valid at Lincoln location only. Scissors and Scotch, located just south of 30th and Yankee Hill, and online at lincoln.scissorscotch.com.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Mike Smith, founder of The Bay. Join me every Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. for your weekly Disrupt, where me and local misfits will interrupt your drive time with this week's most interesting stories in sports, entrepreneurship, and culture. So tune in to your weekly Disrupt every Tuesday afternoon on 93.7 The Ticket, where disruption is just a phone call away.
Happy holidays, Nebraska. The Christmas event of the year is coming to the Lead Center. A Christmas Story, the musical, with all your favorite funny gags. The Fragile leg lamp, the Red Ryder BB gun, the ridiculous pink bunny suit, and more. All the fun of the movie, now with singing and dancing as seen on Broadway, with music by Pasek and Paul, the writers of The Greatest Showman. We triple dog dare you to get your tickets today. Leadcenter.org.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is Old School 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you. As always, our 4:30 segments brought to you by the great people at Heartland of Nebraska Windows. They're based out of Hallam, Nebraska. They offer not only free estimates, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and lifetime warranties on everything, but also affordable prices. And they're locally and family owned. They have their own team of installers. They don't contract out. You know who you work with. Give Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today for more information, 402-430-3852, or visit them online at heartlandofnebraska.com. windows.com. Again, a big thank you to Heartland of Nebraska Windows. All sorts of great stuff going on there. Might be a little late in the year for you to block out all the snow, but certainly once spring comes around, the weather gets nice, reach out to them and make sure that your windows are good to go by the time summer rolls around. That insulation is always key. Jay, a guy that insulated Nebraska in a lot of ways this year, Emmett Johnson, named an All-American, first one in far too long for the Huskers. One of the best years, really the 2000s, I think, for a Husker running back.
Since Amir, right?
Since Amir, absolutely. Yeah, the random 1,000-yard year for Divine Zigbo. But when you look at what Emmett Johnson was able to do this year, 1,451 rushing yards, top 10 in a single season in school history, most since Amir Abdullah in 2014. Rushed for over 100 yards in 8 of Nebraska's 12 regular season games, including 6 of the 9 games in conference play. 120.9 yards per game, led the Big Ten, and was 4th nationally. Also, we talked about this quite a bit at the end of last year, just seeing how Dana Holgorsen used Emmett Johnson. He actually led all FBS running backs with 46 catches and 370 yards out of the backfield. That's 1,800 plus yards from scrimmage. Second nationally, first among Power 4 conference players. First team All-American as a running back by Sports Illustrated. Second team All-American running back from The Athletic. Also, this is something that I found interesting, Jay. He got the all-purpose player first team All-American nod from On3 and CBSSports.com. However, the honors came, certainly an All-America caliber season from Emmett Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, he made the most of his opportunity. You got to think just a year and some change ago, going into the last quarter of the season, he probably was a little bit frustrated, and people were questioning whether he could be a Big Ten back, and then obviously he answered that times 10. And so obviously, Dana Holgorsen came in and saw his skill set, and Emmett kept working while he waited, and it paid off because I think the offense fit him. I mean, he's kind of, he can do it all. He can play in the, conventional run game, help you out of the backfield, and he's a pretty consistent player. And so, you couple that with, they really need to lean on him at times this year to close out games or really set the pace of games. And, he was able to, obviously he's always been able to make guys miss, and he raised his level of play as the pressure or the opportunity became bigger. And, you couple that with, pretty much leading the Big Ten in rushing for majority of the year, having big games against the best opponents at times, especially with 200 yards against Iowa, it's well-deserved. It's, look, if you ever want to, for Coach Rule and staff, if you want to sell that, look, you stay patient and you continue to work, and obviously you take advantage of your opportunities. If it's a one opportunity or opportunities, then, there's Emmett, and there's plenty of other guys that he could probably point to, but Emmett's now being an All-American. So I think it helps Emmett, obviously, as he tries to move on to the NFL. Then also it helps Nebraska as well as being an attractive place for running backs or offensive players or just players in general to come here and obviously earn their way.
Did it feel to you like Emmett Johnson had an All-America caliber season?
I mean, definitely first team All Big Ten. And then if you're first team All Big Ten, you're close to being All-American. I mean, All-American is like, a lot of it has to do how much they push you for it. A lot of it has to do with, the other guys out there, you know what I mean, as far as running the ball. So in this year with those dynamics, as far as like the supply out there in demand and him being able to be the only, I wouldn't say the only offensive threat, but obviously the most consistent one. So he's been so consistent as other guys have either fell off by injury or lack of production, which is probably a byproduct of your starting quarterback getting hurt. That's the guy that you point to when at times we're playing in some big games. You got to think what really helped him is, the Minnesota game, he didn't get a lot of opportunities, but he still was effective. Then you go to Penn State, you're obviously very effective in that game. And then Iowa, when you're essentially, I call it a mini bowl game where you're the first one on the day after Thanksgiving, and you hit them up for, 200 yards and 60 or 70 or something like that in the first half.
Yeah.
But the timing and everything was right, and you produced.
It's just so interesting to think about the feel of the year for Emmett Johnson, because at the start of the year, maybe came in a little underrated, answering some of the questions, like you said, really developed into Nebraska's workhorse back. Jay, I feel like it's certainly a well-deserved honor for Emmett Johnson. It's really hard to argue with it. I mean, the numbers absolutely speak for themselves. I think even if you think of it through the lens of where would Nebraska be without Emmett Johnson compared to where would Notre Dame be without Jeremiah Love, a guy that was ahead of him? Where would Missouri be without Ahmad Hardy? You know, I think Emmett Johnson's probably just as valuable, if not even more valuable, to his specific team in that context. And I don't know if people would factor that in. Where I think to me it would have maybe felt like more of a slam dunk, no doubt, All-America type of year, to where, oh yeah, I mean, it was just a matter of time till we got this announcement, more so than, oh, hey, that's pretty cool for Emmett Johnson, is if he would have returned to school and had this year and maybe even slightly better next year. Think about the year that Amir Abdullah was All-American. Well, then he comes back and he's even better.
Yeah.
You know, the next year he is better and earns the All-America honors, where Emmett Johnson had a fantastic year. But to me, maybe it's because Nebraska's team success wasn't necessarily commensurate with what you think of from an All-America, leading a team, to the precipice of the college football playoff, or a guy that can single-handedly carry Nebraska. Emmett Johnson did at times. But because Nebraska's team success wasn't there, maybe I knock the season that Emmett Johnson had from that regard, which is not fair to him. The numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, he did something that hadn't been done since Saquon Barkley, according to Nebraska's release. He's just the 7th player in the Big Ten since 1956 to have 1,400 rushing yards and 350 receiving yards. It's Emmett and Saquon Barkley, the only Big Ten players to do that in the last 20 years. I can't hold Nebraska's, narratives and expectations against Emmett Johnson, because he did everything Nebraska asked him to do and probably more.
Yeah, I mean, you can't hold it. I mean, he was productive, period. And so generally when you have All-American or what Nebraska used to be accustomed to prior to even Amir, is that when you're an All-American, you're essentially in the national title hunt. That's where people are kind of, but that's been happening all the time. You have a guy that, so back when I played, there was a receiver from Wyoming that I actually, grew up playing basketball and football with, named Marcus Harris. He was All-American, but he was at Wyoming. He was so dominant, even when they played like Nebraska and everybody else, he was an All-American. That's kind of where Emmett's at, where he's very dominant or very productive and very consistent. Then he became an All-American. So I think that's where people are like, okay, if we have an All-American running back, then we should have, maybe be in a little bit more in the win and loss columns. But, like Kupsker has a point, I think it's, it helped. I guess you don't want the help that Dylan got hurt, but it did. But he's been productive anyways.
Yeah.
So maybe instead of having 220 yards, he'd have 140. That's still a very good game.
Even say like 175.
Right. Or just whatever, 150 yards, because I was still, so I think he would have been productive because he's a weapon out of the backfield. He's very consistent. He made guys miss. He made a lot out of a little. You got to think even back a couple runs against Maryland where he looked like he was dead to rights. Then, a 6-yard run turns into 16. So I think the way his running style and his ability to make guys miss, and, at times where the offensive line, blocked, it allowed him to be very productive. So either way, if you want to look at it, guys were hurt and he really took off, or you're just going to give him the respect that he was very productive and consistent throughout the whole game or the whole season. I remember after the Cincinnati game, people were like, oh, Emmett really didn't do much. He had 25 carries for 104 yards.
Yeah.
Very workmanlike. But that became the norm. And then it let you know that he can really tote the mail. I think he had 8 receptions, so it was 33 touches. People were like, oh, that's too much. That's too much. He seemed to get better as the season went on. I think he had 800 yards in the last month. So he really turned it on. He really finished strong.
Yeah.
And that's what you want. You want a guy that's being able to last. So as much questions as people had, was he big enough or not? Now he's going to fight that same narrative at the next level. And he's got to remedy that. Like he's got to figure out a way to be an effective pass blocker. Because if you can't stop Jay Foreman blitzing, you ain't playing.
No.
Because nobody really runs.
Because you're not Darren Sproles.
Yes, but you're like, you're not Saquon and you're not Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is a defensive end. Saquon is next level. So you're gonna have, that's your biggest weakness right now. I know, I've read the scouting reports. Can you pass block? So that's what you're gonna have to remedy
right now. And I don't want this to be the cop out kind of easy comparison. Is he kind of like diet Amir Abdullah right now? Smaller back,
probably
productive. Yeah. Obviously, the Nebraska connection's there.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it was a different run game that Amir was in.
But just in terms of like how the NFL will view him, potentially
yeah.
Good speed, maybe not elite speed. tough, rarely down on first contact sort of guy. But Jay, this is where I'll give Amir credit, guy that found his role where? Not necessarily on offense. Amir
Special
found
teams.
his role on special teams,
But
right?
he played special teams in college.
Exactly
So
where I
that's
was
where
going.
Amir already had the leg up, where he returned kicks and stuff like that. Obviously, you go back to what McNeese State,
Yeah.
the punt return.
Well, that wasn't a punt return.
What was
that
the
was
one?
just a
What
swing
game was
pass.
it where he had the big return?
He had a touchdown against Fresno State on a kickoff return as a
and
freshman.
So they were, and he had a couple big returns. When they were kind of like down or whatever. So I think Amir stepped in there, and the league is a lot easier to stay a little bit longer. So he's going to have to be. He's going to have to run down and tackle people. This is something that he's never done before. That's the biggest adjustment for guys that don't play a lot of special teams. Rightfully so for him as an offensive player. But you're going to have to learn how to play special teams.
So, number one, I'm not going to doubt Emmett's aptitude. I think he's a hardworking guy who'll put his head down and learn to do that stuff if that's what's going to help him stick. I mean, it's a guy that got better every year in college. It seems like he has a good head on his shoulders and will be certainly willing to learn.
Yeah.
But, Jay, is the NFL in fighting for your life to earn a roster spot, is that the place that you should be learning tackling? I know that Nebraska needed Emmett Johnson in the role they used him in, but did Nebraska only do what was best for Nebraska, not best for Emmett Johnson, then not putting him on special teams, even as a freshman or sophomore, he wasn't on the field.
Return some kicks at times, a couple times, and learning how to tackle. Emmett's an overall good athlete.
Oh yeah, not doubting that at all.
And he'll go down there and he'll very quickly learn how to tackle. Now you got to be good,
but he's just small, like you said.
Right.
So
But you got to
the
be.
new kickoff rules and everything. Does that help or hurt him?
The way that he'll play, the positions that he'll play in special teams, he's not running down there like I was like hitting the wedge.
Yeah,
and he's
that's
not going to be going on. Yeah, he's going to go about against the guys about his same size. He'll have to use his quickness. He's stronger than people think. He might have to play on some punt team.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's going to come in, primarily as like the change of pace back, you're going to have to add more to it unless you are so dominant there. And then, he's going to have to pass. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of adjustment. The biggest thing for him is, stay humble, right? Because right now he's in the, I call it the cupcake time, the celebration time, where you're going around, whether he's here in Minnesota, everybody's telling you how great you are, right? And everybody's in your ear. Now you got to really learn how to stay humble and understand that the way you got here is the way that you stick in the league. Because if you change up, you will be doing the same thing I'm doing. Now, I can do what I want. You will be at home watching and wondering.
Yeah.
Because unless you are a legitimate bona fide starter, they churn guys like that in and out of the league very quickly. That's just the way it is.
Thomas and Lincoln wants to know, Jay, whose offense do you think he could fit best in at the NFL level?
I'd say maybe Denver, just because of Sean Payton and Alvin Kamara.
Okay.
Just because now they have two backs that can do it, right? So that's where you think, like, where can you get in where there's not a back that doesn't have your skill set? So that's where it gets shaky, right? Because then you weigh off, like, okay, say we have a second-year guy versus a rookie. He's still on his rookie contract. Do we want to add another rookie contract? He's already, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
New Orleans, right? Just automatically, you'd be able to learn from Alvin Kamara.
Mud Duck says San Francisco.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be good. I mean, they got McCaffrey and they got Robinson, so you had to come in and try to beat somebody else on third.
Yeah.
You want to go somewhere where somebody that they generally keep their draft picks. You can even say Philly, right? Anywhere they need a all around back, he could do well. Pittsburgh need a guy like that make guys miss, right? Because Warren doesn't really make guys miss.
Right.
They don't.
Chicago stands out.
Jackson, no, because they got Menunga, and they got Swift. Now he would be only a third down back.
I'm just saying, I think that's the type of play caller in Ben Johnson that could use.
Ben Johnson, for sure. You're
100%
right. Washington.
Okay.
Was my man The Bachelor.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota, because you got Aaron Jones. There's plenty of places. Just when do you get there?
Mm-hmm.
Do you get there early in the draft or you get there late? You get in there late, it's a different mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You get there late. You talk about the clock on our football program. The clock on you starts as soon as you get there. So you got to outrun that clock. So it's just going to be interesting. He'll do well. He'll figure it out. Got Carolina or Buffalo? Sure, I think both of those. You want to go to where they have a back that kind of fits you, that looks like you, that plays like you.
Mm-hmm.
So Buffalo, Carolina, Carolina has like younger backs. So you want to go somewhere where maybe a little bit long in the tooth and they need some fresh legs in there. And that's where you can come in and get a lot of reps.
A few things from the Starter Heyman Jewelers text line here. 7543. You can't put Emmett Johnson on special teams at Nebraska. He did everything. Terrible statement saying Nebraska did him a disservice. That's why I didn't say they did. It's why I asked the question. And also, when I'm thinking special teams, I'm not putting Emmett Johnson in the shield on punt. I'm not putting Emmett Johnson on the line of scrimmage as the wing blocker on field goal protect. I'm saying, hey, get Emmett Johnson out there on kickoff return. Even if teams kick away from him, he's at least out there. And I get it. It's one extra snap. But I know they like Kenneth Williams. I know they like Isaiah Mosey, in the kick return game, right? You had Ja'Cory Barney back there on punt return.
Yeah.
Maybe
you
he's
had
got
other
that locked
guys.
down. But if I'm Emmett Johnson too, I'm pushing for at least splitting time back there. It doesn't have to be all the time. But, hey, coach, I want to go to the next level. I know you trust me with the ball in my hands. I can take, 3 kickoffs a game.
Yeah.
Something like that. And maybe run down on punt, because that's the other thing that stands out to me. Devontae Smith won the Heisman and played special teams.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith is a better college football player than Emmett Johnson. If he's good enough to play special teams at Alabama, you can't say you're above it. And I know it's not a one-to-one example.
I think they had, Jackson took off as a kickoff returner. He obviously was very good.
Yeah.
Barney was the punt returner, so there wasn't a lot of opportunities. I'm sure he practiced at it, and I'm sure he was, emergency guy. So I mean, he's well trained into it. He's done it before, and you know what? Before he became in this role, he was on special teams, so he knows what he needs to do in the coverage units, and he'll have to do that. He'll have to cover kicks and all that in the preseason and during training camp, and then he's going to have to run the ball effectively.
Yeah.
So he's going to be challenged in a different way than he has in college, but that's how you end up, trying to, extend your career in the NFL.
And then we get to Pecan Pie on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. Does Emmett Johnson really have the speed to actually stick in the league? Caught too many times on long runs. Jay, I'll address this first and then give you the floor. You kind of opened my eyes to this as well, where some players can create some of those big plays, but you've said at college and NFL, those big explosive long touchdowns are more a result of busts more often than anything else, is everyone, not quite doing their job correctly. And instead it turns into a long run. That was one of my knocks on Emmett coming into the year, was where were those long explosive plays? Where was the time he beat the guy on the perimeter and then outran the backside safety? He actually did that a couple times. He had more, kind of Steph Curry touchdowns from long range this year. No, Emmett Johnson isn't a 4.2 guy, but he's fast enough.
He's faster. Yeah, he's fast.
He's not slow.
It'll be interesting to see what he runs. I think he'll run like mid 4.5s. If he gets to 4.4, then that's answered. Yeah. I think when people think about running backs and breakaway speed, you're thinking Chris Johnson and Saquon Barkley, right? So there's not much like that. Now, Derrick Henry at 240-some pounds, he's able to take it to the house. So it can be done. He can still get faster if he wants, or, he works at it. I don't think that's a big enough knock that he wouldn't get drafted because of it. I think the biggest thing that fights him that's going against him is his size, which you can't change. So you're going to have to – there's been other guys that have been smaller that have been able to pass pro. And then obviously maybe a little bit of his age. But then also, it's mainly just size and pass protection, and they kind of go hand in hand. So once you pass protect good, to show you that you're willing to be physical, then they won't talk about your size. You get what I'm saying? And so you do that, you'll be just fine.
9174 Thomas and Lincoln, and then also 7809. Appreciate your thoughts. We got to go to break. We'll wrap up hour 2 of Old School in just a sec.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
When equipment breaks down and operations come to a halt, every single second counts. So why is your maintenance team spending 60% of their time doing anything but turning wrenches? MaintainX is the AI-powered maintenance and asset management system that helps your team get back to actually fixing breakdowns. No more searching for manuals. No more hunting down parts. No more drowning in paperwork. With MaintainX, your team can access manuals from anywhere, create new procedures in minutes, and turn voice notes into clear and complete work order feedback. What used to take hours now only takes minutes. Keep your operations moving, not your paperwork. Join over 11,000 maintenance teams that are already fixing more and filing less. Try MaintainX for free today. Go to maintainx.com/AI. That's maintain and the letter x.com/AI.
The holidays are here, and there's every reason to make Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina part of your plans. Are you heading to a Nebraska basketball game? Stop at Tipsy Tina's before or after for delicious tacos. Meeting friends for drinks for an ugly sweater get-together? Enjoy Tipsy Tina's variety of margaritas. And if you're not sure about what to get for a gift this year, Tipsy Tina's gift cards are always a great idea. Don't forget about the event space at Salt next door to Tipsy Tina's, all of them located in the Haymarket at 8th and Q.
Happy holidays, Nebraska. The Christmas event of the year is coming to the Lead Center. A Christmas Story, the musical, with all your favorite funny gags. The Fragile leg lamp, the Red Ryder BB gun, the ridiculous pink bunny suit, and more. All the fun of the movie, now with singing and dancing as seen on Broadway, with music by Pasek and Paul, the writers of The Greatest Showman. We triple dog dare you to get your tickets today. Leadcenter.org.
Attention parents of 8 to 12-year-olds. The Lincoln Children's Museum is opening a new exhibit designed specifically with them in mind. Mark your calendars for the grand opening on Saturday, December 13th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. On site, meet Love Nebraska volleyball players, including Lincoln's own Jordan Larson. Plus, the first 100 kids will receive a mini volleyball. Please note, fans must have a child with them to enter the museum. While you're there, be sure to check out the new Rock Wall, Book Nook, and Maker Studio. This event is free for members or included with regular daily admission. Learn more at lincolnchildrensmuseum.org.
I'm Terrell Farley, host of Bach in the Black Shirt Show at 1 to 3 weekdays. And my favorite thing to do, see, or go to in downtown Lincoln is the food, because they have great selections of food, and Buzzard Billy's with the great alligator they have down there.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Are you tired of your usual barbershop experience? Stop into Scissors and Scotch today. I know what you're thinking. Drink during a haircut? Don't worry. First comes the precision cut from one of their experienced barbers, followed by your complimentary cocktail in their upscale lounge. Scissors and Scotch blends your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. And now you can earn $10 off by simply mentioning the ticket. And if you're an existing member, still mention the ticket for an exclusive offer. Offer valid at Lincoln location only. Scissors and Scotch, located just south of 30th and Yankee Hill, and online at lincoln.scissorscotch.com.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're wrapping up hour 2 of Old School. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman with you. Really appreciate our friends at Love Volleyball Nebraska for their sponsorship here of our Match Point segment here, wrapping up hour 2. Jay, let's get to this very quickly from 7809. Just going to read this verbatim from the text line. Was Amira Wuss also an opt-out for bowl game? Referring to Emmett Johnson's decision to not play in the...
Amir opted out?
Well, he asked if Amir opted out. No, Amir Abdullah played against Georgia, had 122 yards, about 4.5 yards per carry and a touchdown in Nebraska's 24-19 win over Georgia in the Gator Bowl. Probably best known for Tommy Armstrong to Quincy Enunwa for 99 yards.
Or was it
99?
Yeah, 99.
Officially for that touchdown in the rain. But also, I kind of thought we were past blaming players for opting out of bowl games. I think 99% of Husker fans would have liked to have seen Emmett Johnson play one more time. I think it could have been a good opportunity for him to put some more positive game film on tape against, like you said, a defense that's gettable for Utah. But I understand the decision. Sure, I'm bummed to not get to watch Emmett Johnson play one more time. Sure, I think that puts more pressure on TJ Lateef, etc. But come on, we can't be calling players wusses for opting out of a bowl game in 2025. We're past that. We're better than that.
And I think the dynamics of college football is a lot different now. You got to think that Emmett's given a lot to this university and obviously done what you'd want is work while you wait. A lot of carries, a lot of hits. He's got to, get healed up. And the biggest thing, he's got to get his mind right. And like I said, stay humble. And, for Amir, I think he needed to play, it was a pretty good running back class. And he just cemented that against the Georgia defense. And then obviously he went to the combine and did well. So I think it's just totally different dynamic. So I don't fault him for it. You understand it. And the university and the football program was at a different spot. So he's got to try to cash in when it is, when he can, and you understand it and you respect it. And he's definitely given his all this season. So you got to, tip your hat to it. Now, I'm sure if we were playing, and definitely in the college football playoffs, he would played, and I imagine if we were playing in the New Year's Day, one of
Citrus
those,
Bowl,
or
something like that, Cotton Bowl, whatever,
where you could really use that to really take you up another level.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm in the boat with most Husker fans where I'd say I'm bummed that Emmett Johnson won't play in the game. I'd like to see him play in the game.
Right.
But you also have to understand it from his perspective.
That's why you got to
risk outweighs the reward. And again, it's a bummer. I hate the fact that we've gotten to that point, but it's where we are. And so I'm not going to call the young man a wuss for sitting out. I'm going to say, hey, thank you very much. Best of luck. Rooting for you the next level.
Never crossed my mind. I understand it. Now you gotta make your decision, and you gotta validate your decision. Now you gotta restart again. Now you gotta be more focused. You got more time on your hand I'm sure he's graduated. So once you kind of turn pro, you are a pro. So
well, I guess Amir did play in the Holiday Bowl, someone's saying as well. So even that next year,
right
after that season. Okay, so perfect.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah. I mean, it's just different. And once you turn pro,
either way,
you are a pro. Now you got to time manage. You got to stay out your own way. That's the hardest thing to do right now.
Yeah.
Stay out your own way. College is over now. Everybody that you see at the combine, there's guys that are going to show up at the combine that don't have the same stats or go to the same university as you that are going to creep up the draft boards.
And they're guys you've heard nothing about.
That's
that are going
to
creep up, and they're guys that you've heard a lot about. They're going to fall for that reason, not minding their business.
Yeah, so you got to make sure you stay focused, man. Stay humble, stay hungry.
Ask underwear Olympics champion Jay Foreman.
I don't know if I was the champion.
I didn't give you credit for it.
I don't know. I did all right, but I don't know if I was the champion. I think Joey Porter jumped like 39. I jumped 36. I had never thought anybody can get up that quick. He got up there pretty good, and he kept reminding me of it too.
How dare he?
Yeah.
He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. Hour 3 of Old School next.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
I'm Terrell Farley, host of Bach in the Black Shirt Show at 1 to 3 weekdays. And my favorite thing to do, see, or go to in downtown Lincoln is the food, because they have great selections of food, and Buzzard Billy's with the great alligator they have down there.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff are always available to offer support in marketing, technology, social media, and educational opportunities.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Leaves are falling and temperatures are cooling down, but don't put your golf clubs away. Double Eagle Golf makes golf leagues and events possible year-round. Winter leagues begin on December 1st and are open for registration. Check out their deals on monthly memberships and schedule your Husker Watch parties, birthday or bachelor parties, corporate or team outings, or just a good old Saturday with the boys. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Book a tee time today or learn more at doubleeagle.golf.
The top-ranked Nebraska volleyball team is trying to play its way to the Final Four in Kansas City. Make your plans now to cheer on the Huskers with a VIP travel experience from Sports Trip and the Nebraska Alumni Association. Travel round trip from Lincoln in a luxury motor coach with free parking, plus an overnight stay at the beautiful Hotel Indigo in Kansas City. See details and register at HuskerAlumniTrip.com. Hurry, spots are limited. Register now at HuskerAlumniTrip.com.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your wake at forecast for today. We'll see partly sunny skies with a light breeze and an afternoon high around 50. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies, be breezy, the low around 26. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly cloudy skies, be breezy and colder, an afternoon high near 34. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hey, Lincoln and the surrounding area. Yin and Yang Acupuncture and Rune Wind Healing Arts is now open at 1701 South 17th Street in Suite 3G and ready to help you improve your general health. If you're experiencing pain, headaches, or any other issues, give Yin and Yang Acupuncture a call today at 402-480-1014 to schedule your appointment. For those struggling with deep tissue pain or just need an experienced massage therapist to melt the stress away, call Rune Wind Healing Arts at 402-601-9721 and schedule your appointment now. Visit Yin and Yang Acupuncture and Rune Wind Healing Arts today in Lincoln at 1701 South 17th Street in Suite 3G.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevenson Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevenson Smith Construction slams expectations.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back on a Thursday. A lot happening, obviously, in the sports world, but I always get excited when I get special guests on. Jay Foreman, Old School, my man Austin on the ones and twos. To my left, it's P2. It's the Peters times two. Jason and Keaton Peters. Obviously, Jason and myself are on the board at the Lighthouse. We have a big event next Tuesday, 5 p.m. out at the North Walmart. Keaton has been to 10 of these, I bet, right, Keaton?
Probably.
Yeah. So we're going to have him on. I want you, all the listeners, obviously, we'll post it on social media where you can donate and just directly to the Lighthouse for the Christmas event. But Jason's here. He's on the board. Keaton's here on the board, myself, just to talk about the event. So welcome to Old School, finally. You just here the other week with Bill. Now you get to come on Thursday. More relaxed.
A little more relaxed this time coming on Jay's show.
Yeah. And so, the one thing I'll say is that the Lighthouse, I remember when, Eric Warfield's really originally was a big part of it still, was started it, and he had the basketball game and everything like that. The one thing that's really cool about the Lighthouse is that you get to go over to the Lighthouse and see how it's grown and seeing how, they really are able to, welcome any of the kids in and obviously, provide them everything that they need to be successful, and then the relationships afterwards. So, and then the Christmas event, I think I went 3 years ago was my first one. And it was, I'd heard about it. It's really amazing how thoughtful young people are, at that time, with the $100 gift card, how they're thinking about everybody else besides themselves. Because I know when I was a kid, I probably would have bought every G.I. Joe in.
Well, yeah, most of us, at least in my case, had a good upbringing, and I had parents that both a mom and dad at the house. And a lot of these young people and students that go to the Lighthouse have broken homes.
Yeah.
A lot of them are single family homes,
right,
and very poor living environment. So what we love about this event is gives these kids a way of having a little holiday cheer,
right,
and maybe a Christmas they wouldn't otherwise have. I know what we do is we provide $100 for up to 100 kids.
Right.
Bill Mitchner and Pete Allman and their staff vet the kids that get to qualify to come to the event, and they start out by coming to the Lighthouse, and they're provided a meal before the event. And Bill and Stacy Hooks of Slim Chickens have graciously donated the meal for that event that night. So they'll eat before they come, and then Elite Party Buses of Lincoln has donated 2 buses that will bus the kids over to the North Walmart at 4700 North 27th Street. And at that time, Bill will line them up. There will be university athletes of all kinds that come. A couple of years ago, we had the whole basketball team there, which is really special for the kids. Of course, they all gravitated towards Tamanaga at that time. Anyway, the athletes will then get paired with a youth or a student, and they'll take them around, and they'll kind of watch over them as they pick out what items they'd like. This year, we're raising it for about 15 years now. We've been doing $100. As we all know, the cost of everything has gone up. So this year we're raising it to $125. Hence the reason we got to raise a little more money this year to be able to provide for all the students that will be there.
Yeah, like even last year, I think Emmett Johnson was there. Obviously, I know Emmett, pretty well, and obviously he was just getting started in his, I guess pre-stardom. But it was really good to see him over there, and I think Michael Booker III from the football team was over there, and I know they had some track athletes, both male and female. I liked it just because I remember, taking a couple young kids around, and they were calling. One of them called their brother and tried to put together a list for what they were going to get their mom. And then they got a couple other guys that wanted to, buy a couple of those, like a little chain or something, because I think they maybe had some winter formal coming up or something like that. So it's really cool just to see, talk to them, get to know them, more importantly, teaching them about taxes and all that other stuff, and how you got to kind of money manage, but more importantly, just see them actually thinking about other people besides themselves, which is actually the event is for them, but it's actually for people that's extended family as well. So it's a special event. I love going over there and seeing all the kids. I love that lighthouse. It's been probably one of the best things about being on the board, because it's legit. It's obviously being a former athlete, you get all these type of opportunities, and sometimes the bad ones end up in the paper, and you see that. But then when you really do your research on the lighthouse, they obviously more than check the boxes of being truthful with what they do with the funds, but more importantly, what they do on a day-to-day basis. And the one thing I'd like about the lighthouse is they take everybody in, and then they get them better at school or whatever they need to do, and they provide resources for them to be successful. And it's not only that, teach them, they try to get them in trades and teach them about trades. Obviously, the world's changing, whether it's AI or trades are just as important if that's what you want to do.
And to follow up on that, not to interrupt you, but the reason Bill Mitchner, the director of the Lighthouse, was going to be here tonight, but they are having a tip meeting tonight, which is the trades and profession program that they have at the Lighthouse, which is a kind of a newer over the last 2 to 3 years, program that they've started at the Lighthouse. And it introduces the youth or the students over there at the Lighthouse to the trades programs that are out there. And a good friend of mine, John Carpenter with IES Electric here in Lincoln, is a big part of that program. And they bring the students in to learn electrical work or plumbing work, or, they just anything in the trades and profession, because a lot of them may not want to go on to college, but they can go on to in the trades and profession, which we all need. So
it's really good. And obviously they keep providing more and more resources for everybody that it comes through the Lighthouse, and want them to be successful people, in and out of the Lighthouse, which I think is really, really good. And also I think it's what I like to see at the different events. You see some of the older people that have kind of, I'd say, graduated through high school, they still come back to the Lighthouse and participate. So we got Keaton over there. We won't put you on there. I know you're a little nervous about being on the radio. Look,
I had my son come on because he's been coming to this event. I guess at first, or when he was younger, he was kind of forced to come to it because we wanted our kids to see what reality is, that not everything's just given to you. So
it's good. So Keaton, obviously you're older and you're in college now, and you're not little Keaton anymore. Just talk about some of your memories and obviously how the impact has been on you to see, obviously what the Lighthouse been able to provide for some kids, but then more importantly, how it's really changed your perspective on life.
I would say I think like the coolest thing for sure is seeing them go out of their way to get their mother, their sister, their brother, who might also be at the event with them, just different types of gifts, something that they might usually not be able to get.
Right.
I would say it's just a really cool experience now with the extra $25 and seeing what it started with and what it's became now.
Yeah, I mean, that's impactful. I mean, I remember last year, I had some dibs on some candy. I was teaching about what's the good candy to get. It's like, you got to hold off on that, man. This has a little bit too much sugar in it, man. You better be asleep by 10 o'clock. So I had to really educate them on what it really means. But you really, it's really cool to see different relationships. Actually, to be honest with you, one of the kids from the Lighthouse now works at Chipotle. And I was down there with Nick, and he was like, yo, you remember me? And I was like, yeah, it was pretty cool to see him. And that was from the very first time, that I started coming 3 years ago. Now he's a little bit older. And he just told me what he had going on. And it's really enlightening to see that he obviously took what he learned and was able to experience at the Lighthouse. Obviously, being able to meet him, and he was so proud of what he had a full-time job, and he's well on his way.
Because a lot of these kids, if they didn't have the safe haven in the Lighthouse, a lot of them probably wouldn't graduate high school, or the odds are they would have a tougher time graduating high school. That's what Bill and his staff over there really emphasize. And they don't just go to the Lighthouse and have fun. They have to go there. They have to be dedicated to their schoolwork. The staff is making sure that their schoolwork is completed before they can go on and do anything else. So.
Right. Yeah. I mean, look, it's whether you're an athlete or, just a regular student. I mean, for me to have the support system to be successful, especially in school, at an early age, probably helped me out, obviously, to get to college and get through college. And so Lighthouse is doing it no different, just because they're not, sports specific. For me, I had to get, good grades and have a good support system to get to college. They're doing the same thing. And that's what the most important thing is. You're going there. It's a place of security for them. And then, but also
safe haven,
safe haven. And then obviously hold them accountable. And that's what they want. And actually a lot of them need it, but they need it in the right environment, and they're providing it for it. And it's not just the one thing also about Lighthouse, I'll say, is that it's not just a blanket program where Bill Michener, I'm going to tell you this, Bill Michener is investing in that like no other. And obviously
he was a former Lighthouse youth,
former Lighthouse youth, but he knows he takes every single kid and tries to create their own program for success. It's not just, all right, do this. Since you don't do it, you didn't work, send them back off. He really is invested in and wants every kid to have a good experience and at the Lighthouse, as long as they put in enough work as much as they do. So I think it's really, really good. And I think, always having the event next Tuesday out at the North Walmart is always kind of the pre-Christmas, but then obviously kind of the cherry on top of it. Obviously a great year at the Lighthouse.
Christmas isn't Christmas unless we have the Lighthouse Christmas event.
I know. You always got to get it on there. You got to make sure, you definitely, because last year, even the one thing I'll say about the tickets, always supported it, and obviously our listeners as well. So when we get it out on social media, appreciate it if you guys can do and or donate some. Definitely every dollar goes a long way, but the tickets always supported me being on the board at the Lighthouse, being able to leave and being out there for that event, just because it means a lot. So,
and any amount helps us out.
Right.
So you can Venmo to at Lincoln Lighthouse. And you can
get on LincolnLighthouse.com or .org.
.org.
LincolnLighthouse.org, and you can go to the donate.
There's a link on there for our Christmas event at LincolnLighthouse.org.
Yeah, and you can put in the memo and everything. It's great, man. I mean, it's everything that Lincoln Lighthouse has done, and obviously had an impact on me as a board member. Has been one of the best experiences I've had outside of whatever regular life. So I will tell you that it made a big impact on me, and I enjoy it and can't wait to get out there on Tuesday, just to experience, because every year it's different. There's different kids. It's always a great event. So we're gonna cut this segment a little short. Give you guys are in the look at you guys. Hey, this is the best thing. Here's the best thing. Now we can have some fun. This dude here, let me tell you something. There's not a day that goes by in our little group chat that he doesn't mess with Jay Foreman. Keaton does it because Keaton's my boy. Keaton and Leighton are my boys. But now that he's in the pressure cooker, this is I got you right where I want you. Now, if I was a little bit petty, I'd keep you here probably to 5:30, but I'll let you off the hook just because I'm in the holiday spirit. So,
and I have to give Jay a big thanks for letting me come on here and promote our event. So I thank you very much.
Going. We need to raise about another $3,000. We'll get a big donation from the guys here at the ticket. We'll handle that. So we'll put it out there on social media. We'll mention it for the next tomorrow, and then we'll do it again throughout the weekend, and on Monday we'll get it going, and then 5:00 next Tuesday, right out at Walmart,
December 16th.
Yeah,
5:00.
We'll take a quick break. Come back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Jason Peters, and Keaton Peters. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When equipment breaks down and operations come to a halt, every single second counts. So why is your maintenance team spending 60% of their time doing anything but turning wrenches? MaintainX is the AI-powered maintenance and asset management system that helps your team get back to actually fixing breakdowns. No more searching for manuals. No more hunting down parts. No more drowning in paperwork. With MaintainX, your team can access manuals from anywhere, create new procedures in minutes, and turn voice notes into clear and complete work order feedback. What used to take hours now only takes minutes. Keep your operations moving, not your paperwork. Join over 11,000 maintenance teams that are already fixing more and filing less. Try MaintainX for free today. Go to maintainx.com/AI. That's maintain and the letter x.com/AI.
One of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks. You can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers, starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
This holiday season, give the gift of good taste with a gift card from Valentino's. During double discount days, double your discount from $5 to $10 free with a $50 gift card purchase. Valentino's handcrafted pizza has been a family favorite for generations, and our gift cards make the perfect holiday gift. And right now, during gift card double discount days, when you buy $50 in gift cards, get a $10 gift card free. Happy holidays from Valentino's.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back, second segment, 5 o'clock hour. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. Once again, we are brought to you by the Mercado. Certified Piedmontese, special ingredients and butcher shop. Probably one of the best butcher shops in Lincoln, if not the best. 4 locations in Lincoln and Omaha, 3 in Lincoln, actually. 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andermatt / Old Cheney, and 168th and Maple up there in the O. So we appreciate their support. Also appreciate Jason and Keaton Peters coming in and talking about the Lighthouse event again, December 16th, 5 p.m. It's going to be where we have 100 kids out there, and they're each going to get $100, and let them have at it out there at the North Walmart. It's a great event. So appreciate you guys getting on the Lincoln Lighthouse website and donate, and then every dollar counts because it goes to a great cause. So anyways, onward, upward, Austin. A lot going on in the sports world. It's always, here's the thing.
There's always something.
Here's the thing about college towns. College, it's like Lincoln. They're generally small, big time blue blood universities are generally in, areas where you're only show in town. And obviously Sharon Moore obviously had his issues, and obviously, got fired, for inappropriate, I guess, relationship. I guess I think that's what they said technically. Knowing some people up there and knowing the honest, what's going on. Really, to be honest with you, if they were in the college football playoffs or beat Ohio State, he's still employed. They knew about it. Now they're just trying to distance themselves. And then it tells you that they never really wanted him in the first place based on the way the contract was originally set up. Because if you go back and really think about his tenure starting last year, it was through the first quarter of the season. They haven't even really signed his contract yet.
No.
They knew what they were supposed to pay him. So they were really trying to fight him being the head coach last year. What saved him last year was the upset against Ohio State. I think the biggest upset in the game as far as Ohio State being favored by 20-something points, Michigan winning. And then obviously beating Alabama and then getting Bryce Underwood. So he had some sort of, he thought, job security. Now, did that cloud his judgment or not? I don't really know. I don't really care. That's personal business. Obviously, I think it got a little hairy when he went into a full-fledged crash out. I think also what you can't do, everybody's going to focus on Shamar Moore, and that's what University of Michigan wants, right? But what they're not really focusing on is probably the institution of chaos that they've had in the football program and their athletic department for almost a decade. Harbaugh's staff, 11 of the guys they hired, 7 of them have had off the field discretions. That happens. It's human nature. 7 out of 11 is probably pretty high.
Let's
Extremely
do some quick math here. 63%.
Yeah, that's that's pretty amazing there. You are a Dukester. So obviously this is going to be it. I will say this is it's an unfortunate situation because I look at this is where I have a problem with Michigan, right? Sharon Moore. The relationship is not. This is not the first. It's not the last. That's really small beans. The bigger thing is the reaction afterwards. That's where he has to be held accountable. Then let's move over to Michigan, right? Because I think they are at fault as well, right? So leave the rumors and all that stuff and what really happened. Just leave that over there. Let's look at Michigan. Okay, you knew about this a long time ago, all the way back in September. So you actually probably knew about it in June.
Yeah.
Okay, you brought it to their attention in September. Probably most likely after that Oklahoma loss, and he was suspended. Okay, because whatever the better time when you have time on your hands and the backup coach is going 2-0 and you lost to Oklahoma. That's how it went down.
College football playoff team, Oklahoma, in retrospect.
But you lost on the road, right? And you went,
But where you're supposed to be, college football playoff.
Right. So That's when you knew it. So then the season went on. You come down to Nebraska and win, and Michigan starts to play good.
Mm-hmm.
You don't do anything. Now, the season goes, you lose a game out, then you end up losing. You lose to USC, and then you obviously end up losing to Ohio State. Here's the problem with Michigan on top of it. Number one, now you're trying to act like, oh, you have new evidence. No, you don't.
No.
You know who the person was, the coach was, who the other person or people were, right? Let's just leave it at that. No judgment here. So you are at fault, right, at some point, because you're supposed to be a place of excellence, like they like to say. Michigan men, right? That's what they like to say.
Mm-hmm.
Then the even worse is dang well you had been putting feelers out for his job over the last month of the season. That's factual. Okay, I'm telling you facts here. This is not about rumors. So you've been putting feelers out for his job. You let this man recruit. You let the staff recruit. You let the kids commit and sign.
Yep.
And then you purposely waited till afterwards. You dead wrong for that.
Yeah.
So sure, business is business, but that's bad business. So now you got the kids locked in, because really when you're thinking about it, it's even later than the Penn State thing, so it's even worse. But this is actually known to what you could have done. You could have fired him during the season. And I'll be willing to bet if you probably have the same record. You get what I'm saying?
Could. And here's the thing. If you're Michigan and you think you can go get anyone you want, either that clouds your judgment to hold on to it to when it's convenient for you, or if you're Michigan and you want to be at the front of the line because you think you deserve to be at the front of the line for hiring coaches, don't you fire your guy first? Like, hey, we haven't been necessarily impressed. We hired you for X, Y, and Z reason. Maybe we hired you to fire you. Didn't tell you that going in, but
we didn't want you. We were hopeful it worked out, and you didn't want him in the first place. He had lost it already. You could have fired him in the middle of the season when you had the projections, right? And you were kind of teeter-tottering on the line. You already have a interim coach that you could have had to finish out the season. And if you wanted to remedy that Jim Harbaugh situation with Connor Stallions, you fire the last guy that's a part of it, or the main cog in it.
Every last guy that's a part of it, including
the main guy.
The main guy.
Who had had discretions with the cell phone and then had to sit out for these 2 games. So that lets you know he doubled down on it. So you really could have been in good faith, but you chose, right? So this lets you know you were okay with what happened with Connor Stallions. You just mad you got caught.
And so that's where, if I'm a prospective coach looking at this Michigan job, maybe there's a guy out there, Michigan's the dream job. Screw it. I'm going to run it with integrity in class. But for those guys that could be talked into Michigan, that they didn't think they would maybe get the call from Michigan, or they didn't see this job opening up, and then Michigan reaches out. It's the same sort of thing, maybe a little bit different. LSU seemed pretty keen on Lane Kiffin from the jump, and they ended up
hold on. We're going to get into that too.
Okay, but my point is, like, when you have one guy who has a mentor to him that's been at LSU and is going to nudge him in that direction, LSU is pretty likely to land Lane. You know, Michigan, on the other hand, maybe you knew it was coming. If you don't have your guy that you feel really good about taking the job as being the next Michigan man, then you open yourself up to all sorts of questions of, yeah, this should be a really good college football job. This is a place that won a national championship not that long ago, 2 seasons ago. Now is when Michigan ended up winning it. It's a blue blood. It has the history. It has the tradition. It's in the Big Ten. It has money. It has access to talent, everything I could want. Except, do I trust the administration? Think about, maybe, Jay, part of why Sharon Moore is able to get away with this. And again, I think you're onto something. They held it till it was convenient for them, which is their prerogative. I don't think it's the right way to do business, but it's what they did, so it's too late to say anything now. Michigan's president was also looking around. He got an interview at Florida, and then Florida ended up turning him down. Okay, for the president,
right?
Job. Yeah. Michigan's AD, Ward Manuel, let's not pretend like he's squeaky clean. Let's not pretend like he's interested in giving much oversight to an athletic department. I mean, look what happened toward the end of Juwan Howard's tenure. Ward Manuel just kind of sat back and watched it happen until Juwan went 8-24, and he said, "Yep, sorry, can't do this anymore. You're losing too much."
Yeah.
Michigan just doesn't seem to have that culture in place of self-policing. And so if I'm a coach that wants to come in and run a clean program, that's really up to me. But is it? Do I trust my bosses to support me in running the right kind of program? You know, do I still think that there are people of integrity in charge at Michigan that will have my back when I take the hard way instead of the easy way. And Michigan will spin this as, well, hey, look at us. We're not the ones trying to sell our soul for a quick infusion of cash. Yeah, we have more integrity than all the rest of you. But that is a very flimsy leg to stand on after all the stuff that your men's basketball, your football program have been through really just in the last 3 years.
Their hockey team and was it gymnastics?
Something like that.
Yeah, they've had it. And, like no program is perfect. Obviously, we had some stuff going on while I was here and all that. But I think with Michigan, for a very long time, they've been able to kind of, I would say, bully or manipulate their way to the front of the line. And that's just how Michigan is, right? If you even go, I know for a fact that when, the Heisman, when Charles Woodson won it, there was, I wasn't going to go unless he was going to win it. I mean, I mean, the whole thing of when they decided that, how long that they were going to suspend Jim Harbaugh, when they were going to do it, you know what I'm saying? Kind of turn their nose up, at the investigation, leading people the wrong way. And so I think this is where you get to this endpoint right here with Michigan and when they want to do things, because now they're, the names that you're hearing like Kalen DeBoer or Jed Fish. Okay. If I'm Kalen DeBoer, I mean, if you really want to get out of Bama that quick, you should have never went there.
I see. I'm curious. I'd love to pick Kalen DeBoer's brain because the ESPN report was that he and his family like it in Tuscaloosa.
Right.
But if Alabama's going to run him out of town after a first round exit, I mean, you never know that for sure. But at some point, you got to be able to read the tea leaves or have your agent working the phones behind the scenes just to see, because you don't just leave Alabama.
You don't leave that. I mean,
you don't just leave.
You got a pretty good deal down there. I think that Florida State game, I think it brought out a part of Kalen DeBoer. I think he's got some time to get the offense back together, and they'll play well against Oklahoma. They'll get healthier. You get what I'm saying? Because I think Simpson's hurt, obviously. And leave it for Michigan. It would just give me pause because, okay, let's just say he does go there. Ward Manuel is probably out on his way out. He might be like LSU's AD. You might not be allowed to pick the next guy. So he's gone. The guy that hired you probably going to be gone within a year or two. Who knows what the president's going to do?
And that's why the LSU situation is different, because LSU targeted one guy. They targeted Lane. Michigan, when they have their search open and they're not linked directly to one candidate and guys have to weigh it,
this late,
that level of instability is going to cause more people to ask questions and make you look less desirable than LSU, who it seemed like targeted Lane Kiffin early, and Lane Kiffin targeted them at least somewhat early in the process.
It was going on
as well.
pretty after that Georgia game with Ole Miss.
Yeah,
that's where it really caught fire. If you know people down at Ole Miss, and I do, and this is why I think the crosshairs point right to Seattle, Washington, and Jed Fish. He's coached there. He has connection to Harbaugh. He's not involved in the Connor Stallions thing. He's definitely has impeccable reputation. He lives that way. I know Jed, personally. That'd probably be the only guy that you could do it. But I was saying if you're Michigan holds themselves at a higher state than they actually are, and there are two national championships. The only people that celebrate their national championships are them.
Yeah,
they split with us. Nobody, you weren't better than us. Now, then the way that you just won this last one, you were the best team that year. But how'd you get there? So you always have these asterisks by what you do, right? And then you would like to think, if you knew about it before, a coach you didn't want, you knew that this Michigan team wasn't a national championship contender team, right? And you wanted to get ready your head coach. The perfect time would be, to be honest with you, after the Nebraska game or shortly after that. Right? Maybe after you beat Michigan State or something like that.
Yeah.
You held on to him, and sure, it blew up. Now he's obviously, after the fact of you firing him, his reaction, now that's at the forefront. But now on the back end, you're still at the same place that you were with even less, I guess, candidates for your job. And
who knows how many of those guys would have been legitimate candidates in Michigan? Like, was James Franklin going to jump from Penn State to Michigan?
You did, but you never know.
Probably not, but you never know. But I think your point, you handcuffed yourself.
Yeah. And a lot of people knew and heard some stuff, and that means obviously there's leakage in there with the people that knew the stuff, which is your board of regents. You guys have been telling people. But then you had the internal investigation. Probably was a slap, maybe like, hey, cut it off, maybe. Which then you're then so that's where you expose yourself if you try to say you fired him for cause. Well, you just told me and then say you didn't do it or whatever. Sherrone Moore is going to try to, escape on this or something. Now you're going to go try to poach a coach from Bama that's probably got a really good recruiting class, going to probably get a really good portal class. Say they beat Oklahoma, that door would be closed. Then you're trying to go and get Jed Fish. It seems that he had a really good recruiting class, right? And it's late in the game. So come the new year, January 2nd, if you don't have a coach, you're dead in the water. You better have Pachi come and just do a kind of a gap year.
Right.
That's your only saving grace. And then you're starting over again because majority of the players and the good players, and it might even be Underwood leaving this year, will leave. Because who knows if Underwood fits, in this case, DeBoer or Jed Fish, because his skill set is significantly different than the two quarterbacks that are playing for those coaches right now. Probably more closer to Williams, but Williams is probably more polished passer. Underwood's probably a better runner. But
a different runner, right?
Yeah.
Underwood's more the power. Williams is more Lamar Jackson light.
Right. But totally different skill sets.
Oh, much. Yeah.
So
and Ty Simpson's your prototypical pocket guy.
So there goes your big time recruit. And who goes with him? And
all his buddies.
And then what about the portal?
Yeah.
So as fast as they made the decision, sure. We got a text here, 6169. He thinks Brian Kelly is a fit for Michigan. No. When you read the tea leaves on why Brian Kelly was going to get potentially fired for cause in LSU, it's probably not the cause to hire him at Michigan.
It was football, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it was personal, and it wasn't a good fit. And then it was, it was personal, but then it was obviously outside of it too.
Yeah.
So look, these are humans. There's no judging going on. I just think that Michigan, it's a good look into a program that was. Sometimes you're so desperate for a national championship to beat Ohio State and to dominate them that you really get out over your skis. And you just everything's like on the table, like you'll just do anything and everything, and that's where they're at right now.
I think that Brian Kelly needs Michigan much more than Michigan needs Brian Kelly.
Yeah,
he's accomplished enough that you can talk yourself into him being a fit. But the last thing that Michigan needs right now is another coach with scandal.
Yeah, it's not. I just think that Brian Kelly is very abrasive.
They don't need more negative attention,
right,
whether it's scandal or just rubbing people the wrong way.
I mean,
whatever
he would fit just like a coaching. If he gets a good coaching staff, I think he could probably come in there and do it. I just don't know how much damage, how many bridges he's burned based on what happened at LSU, or was it LSU getting tired of Brian Kelly and not meeting the expectations and having unrealistic expectations? I think the 3 losses they had was like less than 20 points total, right? And you're playing,
but like one of the worst offenses in the SEC, which at LSU, really?
Right. Yeah, you shouldn't with the quarterback and all that. But you got
Nussmeier. We haven't talked enough about the fall off that he had.
But you got 2 freshmen starting at the offensive line that you have to start freshmen and play them early. And the offensive line is not where you want to put freshmen out there going against grown men in the SEC.
Sure.
It's a recipe for disaster. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now back to Lane. I'm going to tell you what. There's nobody happier than old Lane Kiffin down in Baton Rouge. All eyes off him.
Right.
He probably sent us Sherrone Moore a text. Hey,
appreciate you having my back.
You want to be an analyst after the smoke clears? I got you. Right? I mean, I'm just being dead serious. I mean,
Coach O didn't want to come back and coach offensive line, so you in?
Yeah, because everybody was digging on Lane on what he was doing in Ole Miss and just how he left and all that. And obviously with the college football playoffs and Ole Miss about to play your home game, that's going to fester up. It's now on, come Friday, it's going to be Sherrone Moore. He's going to be arraigned in court and just go from there. And look, man, all the talk, you wish everybody the best, right? You want him to get the help if he needs it. And you want, the families to heal. And then obviously more importantly, and not more importantly, or just as important, all the kids that committed to him. None of the kids that committed to Michigan and signed for Michigan had their signing day, had no idea. Now they're locked in because there's not really a lot of places to go because the allocation of scholarships are closed. Now, if you're a 5-star kid. Now you make room for guys, but not everybody that committed to Michigan will make room. Some guys will stay because they committed to the University of Michigan. There's some guys that committed to Sharon Moore and the staff.
So Michigan signed the number 11 class in the country. You have 5-star edge rusher Carter Meadows out of Gonzaga High in D.C. You have Savion Hyder out of Louise County in Virginia. Those are your 2 5-stars. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 4-stars in the class that ends up with 27 members.
Yeah.
27 in this day and age.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a normal class 7 years ago.
Back in the day. Yeah. So that's where also there's 27 kids that are affected. And you don't know if the new coach wants these, because I'm sure I know if say I'm Jed Fish, who can you look up the University of Washington where they're at? They had a really good class. I think even higher maybe than Michigan, or if not, they had a really good class for because they had a big time wide receiver flip.
So they're right next to each other. Washington ends up number 12 overall with 25 signees and 1 5-star and Cody Green, offensive tackle from Modern Day.
And then they got a couple of wide receiver flips at the very last end, very last second. So I would want to bring some of those guys. So now I'm stripping guys out of Washington's program and probably ejecting guys out of the Michigan's program. There's a lot of indirectly or collateral damage, from this decision. And yes, Sharon Moore, the reaction to him being fired is on him, right? And nobody knows that type of pressure until you're there. Nobody, you can say, "Oh, this is how I do this." Your world's crumbling. Who knows what's going on? Well, it's set up by Michigan knowing and being okay with it for a very long time.
Yeah.
And let's hope that they're Sharon Moore is hoping that they'll do some digging, and there was other people that they kind of swept underneath the rug. Well, then now you set the precedence that you're okay with it. Mm-hmm. Now, whatever happened at the house, that's a legal case. This is a contract. It's going to get messy, and Michigan's been messy for quite some time. You thought the 2-game suspension, that was it. Connor Stallion, you really got a slap on the wrist. You got a national championship. Yeah. You got one of Harbaugh's guys in there. You kind of just been all right, I got away with it. Mm-hmm. You thought now it's just because they're going to dig that back up.
Right.
Because they're going to try to, do a bad pattern of behavior like everybody's doing. So we'll see where it goes.
23-20. No way Moore gets a job of any kind in football again. Have you paid attention to football?
Have you seen Bobby Petrino? I mean,
to be fair, Moore does have the Stallions allegations, and now whatever this is.
Yeah.
But
I don't think
will he ever be a head coach again?
Doubt it.
Odds are slim. Will he be a position coach again? Almost assuredly.
Oh yeah.
Somewhere.
He'll get another chance, and that it might be some time, but I could tell you this.
He's not Book Richardson.
He's a very good offensive line coach. Very good line.
Yeah.
And also, obviously, he's recruiting like a mug. Anyways, I just got to bring a little bit of light to it. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Raising Cane's, we focus on being the best at one thing and getting it right every time, which is why every hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken finger meal we serve is made just for you.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Make plans to be at the Icebox on Saturday, December 13th for Teddy Bear Toss Night as the Stars host the Dubuque Fighting Saints. Bring a teddy bear or stuffed animal from home or purchase one at the game. When the Stars score their first goal of the game, it's time to throw the bears and stuffed animals onto the ice, with all being donated to the Community Action Partnership of Lancaster and Saunders counties to help local children in need during the holidays. That's the Teddy Bear Toss on Saturday, December 13th with the Lincoln Stars.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All ticketing options for the 2026 Love Nebraska season are now available. Single match tickets start as low as $16, even cheaper if you want to bring a group. Don't miss your chance to see professional stars like Jordan Larson and Lexi Rodriguez in action this season. Purchase your preferred ticketing option today by visiting lovneb.com/tickets. Are you ready to make a difference this holiday season? Schwiezo Construction and TMCO are hosting a diaper drive December 5th through the 19th. They're collecting diapers, pull-ups, and wipes to benefit TMCO Prep Academy, the Nebraska Diaper Bank, and Forward. Drop off your donations at Schwiezo Construction, 93.7 The Ticket, Pine Lake Self-Storage, or White Elm Brewery. Together, we care for our community. For more information, please visit Schwiezo Construction's website or Facebook page today. Husker fans watch women's basketball, so we can't wait to see you in the stands at Pinnacle Bank Arena this season. Single game tickets start at just $12, making it easier than ever to watch the Huskers from the best seat in the house. Don't miss your chance to witness the energy, the hustle, and the heart of this team live in PBA. Huskers watch women's basketball, so get your tickets now at huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Quick segment, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, old school. A lot going on. Once again, we want to thank Kevin Meyer Cork Bottle, coming in on Thursday. It's always awesome for him when he comes in. Great drinks and a great libation, great knowledge, and obviously his presence is always felt. I think in a few days he's going to start his Christmas special over there at 13th and South, and they do a really good job. All the wines you can drink. Be jolly and drink them all. Then I want to thank Jason Peters and Keaton Peters coming in from the Lighthouse. We have an event next Tuesday, lighthouse.org, lincolnlighthouse.org, and then obviously you can donate there to the Christmas event that starts at 5 o'clock out at the North Walmart. But tonight, Austin, we got a little dirty South, Atlanta Falcons and Tampa Bay battling it out. Two teams that are spiraling downward. Thursday night games over the history have not been very competitive. The Buccaneers get Mike Evans back and McMillan back, excuse me. Baker Mayfield is probably happy about that. He's got his arsenal back.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta has my man Kirk Cousins, who's been reluctantly sat on the shelf. This is probably going to be the best version of Kirk Cousins you could see, because now he's had a game underneath his belt, been able to practice and really go out there and show to his best abilities.
Really intriguing matchup. I have been a little less impressed with Tampa Bay over the last month or
Considering how they played last year.
Right.
Yeah.
They're still hanging on in the division, technically, but they're tied with Carolina, who hasn't been very impressive. But that entire division, Jay, has a negative point differential.
Yeah.
I mean, the Panthers are in second place. They've been outscored by 50 points on the year. The Bucs offense has been fine. I mean, 299 points scored. Not elite by any means, but good enough to get the job done, a little over 20 a game. The defense, on the other hand, is the worst in the division. They've allowed 325 points. So if you are Tampa Bay, you like to think that getting those offensive weapons back will help you keep up in some of these shootouts. They won in some kind of crazy fashion early on, their early season winning streak. And sometimes that's sustainable. Usually it's not, especially when you succumb to the injuries that Tampa Bay has. But if you look at, the Falcons and the Saints already being eliminated from playoff contention, you trust Tampa Bay to figure out a way to win the division and sneak into the playoffs and take your chances with them having been there before. But maybe there's something to Carolina. Maybe they see that, hey, we can play spoiler. And, Atlanta can help Carolina out in that sense by stealing one from Tampa Bay, giving Carolina, a half game advantage heading into the weekend. I still like Tampa Bay. I think there's enough good pieces there, and I trust them to figure it out. But just had a bunch of just weird hiccups for them this year, mostly because of the injuries.
Yeah, it's just interesting when you look at it just over the last few games. I mean, they lose that, I won't say a heartbreaker to the Patriots, but, that's where the Trayvon Henderson had all the big runs, right? That was the Patriots, coming out party. Then the Bills just beat the brakes off them, it was only by 12. Then
that's a lot in the NFL.
Yeah, it is a lot by the NFL. And then you get trounced by the Rams, right? So that's a 3-game skid. You're able to barely beat the Cardinals, and that's without Pocket Hercules. And then you lose to the Saints just last week, and now you got to tee it up again tonight.
I'm going to unveil this. Kyler Murray is NFL Trae Young.
Yeah. Very well. I think Trae Young's probably more productive. Actually, Trae Young's probably a better basketball player than Kyler Murray has been. But I think Kyler Murray, I'm going to tell you this, and they're both the same, and you're 100% right. The Trae Young has heard the noise. He's actually a better leader and a better teammate now, as far as he assists the ball better. He doesn't get credit for it.
Oh, he's been an elite passer since he set foot in the league.
But now he's actually, his efficiency rating's up and everything. He's playing a little bit better defense now. Size just. You get matched up against Kevin Durant, don't matter. Remember when he tapped him on the head?
Right.
But then Kyler Murray, right? He had that thing with Cliff Kingsbury, flat out disrespectful to his coach. Then a new coach come in last year, he started to take off. This year, he was doing pretty decent. He wasn't probably getting Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball, but he was pretty good. So I think they both have changed their game for the better, maybe backed into a corner, but they are the same. Came in, both of them undersized for respective sports, exceeded expectations, a lot of hype, oddly enough.
And as good as they are.
Didn't they go to the same high school or same college? Oklahoma, right?
Oklahoma, yeah. Now, Kyler didn't start there, but.
Yeah.
And Trey was only there for 1 year, but yeah, they both.
At one point in time.
Yes.
Yeah. It's in their blood.
As much as college Trae Young was really fun, but because Trae Young happened, we forget how fun Buddy Hield was in Oklahoma. Do you remember?
Oh, he was
Oklahoma Buddy Hield. Oh my
but Oklahoma
gosh,
Buddy
man.
Hield was the modern day. He was the modern day version of Chuck the Rifleman person.
Gosh.
From deep too.
Deep.
Yeah.
That game against Kansas, he had the triple overtime or double overtime one. Oh.
And
I watched that whole thing.
Quiet as kept it. When he's in the league, he's shot the ball pretty decent.
Oh, yeah.
Oklahoma on the sneak is, you had Blake Griffin, you had the Griffin brothers, and obviously Trae Young, and then Buddy Hield. You had some other guys as well. And so.
Well, they had that Final Four team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're tough. I like their coach, too. Obviously, they, were able to, lose to Nebraska, which is always good. But
they did the right thing.
They did the right thing.
And they were really bad in football in the 90s. So, also good for,
we'll take
for that.
Without him, without us beating the brakes off him and John Blake doesn't come to Nebraska, and we don't get Ndamukong Suh the House of Spears. So you just never know when it can come back to you. I think the Bucs prevail. They need to get back and get right. They need to get out of this cardiac kid version of the Bucs and get back to dominating, because it's playoff time for them, and it's going to be interesting to see the mindset and temperament of Baker Mayfield. I think he was going to try to show out tonight.
This is where Baker's at his best, right? Back a little bit into a corner, and a huge stretch. Host the Falcons, you get the Panthers twice, and at the Dolphins to end the year. It's on the table for him.
It's on the table for him. Yeah. And the narrative would change, the feelings would change, and it's right for the picking because Philly is spiraling. Now, you got to deal with the Rams, but you like your chance the second time around. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, another great Thursday. We'll holler at you tomorrow.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
When equipment breaks down and operations come to a halt, every single second counts. So why is your maintenance team spending 60% of their time doing anything but turning wrenches? MaintainX is the AI-powered maintenance and asset management system that helps your team get back to actually fixing breakdowns. No more searching for manuals. No more hunting down parts. No more drama.